Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Кокаином.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Woke moralists.
Whoopsie.
Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralists.
up.
Up around and find out.
Up yours. Woke moralists.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stop Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stop Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
So you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
Up yours.
We'll see who cancels who.
Hello! I'm back!
Howdy, Matt's back. He's back and a believer in Elon Musk after attending CES and riding the Hyperloop, right?
Right, I went to CES, I rode the Vegas Loop, I met with Linda Yaccarino and Elon Musk, we all became good friends, we had a few shots one night, got drunk together, it was a good time, we're all good buddies now.
I believe the Leftist Mafia, just for one
I believe in
Yeah,
X's
right.
mission as the everything app. My paychecks from work are already being put directly into X's bank, and I will be doing all my banking through the everything app. Yes.
I'm really happy for you, Matt.
Oh,
Nice.
how much are they paying you for this?
I got monetized on Twitter, so I'll be making approximately $6.50 every 2 weeks. $6.50, that is.
Okay.
And
Not bad, not bad.
Wow, pretty good, pretty good.
Just like
I did. Out of all those things that I said, the one thing that is true is I did ride on the Vegas Loop, and it is pretty pointless. I mean, I spoke about it on my own stream the other day, and like, all right. So I think people have to understand what it is. Basically, the Las Vegas Convention Center is this absolutely huge, multi-building like. Place. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like the north wing, the south wing, the west wing, it's all over the place. It's all the same compound, like the Vegas Convention Center. And the loop basically takes you to each one of those wings through that's it. Like it doesn't go throughout like the Vegas Strip or anything like that. So for the purpose of this very small space, and being like sort of a gimmicky thing that you would use, I guess, at a convention center, it does its job. As far as when I used it, like I got to point A to point B in a very short amount of time. I mean, it's not because the Teslas were going super fast. It was because there's not much space to go between the two to point A and point B. It's like one side of the building to the other side of the very large building. So, like, I guess for the purpose it serves, it's fine. Maybe it was quicker to build a tunnel with just one-lane roads than it would have been to set up, like, a little underground monorail or subway system for this one building, this one giant building. But, like, I can't possibly see it being, like, rolled out to, like multi-stations throughout a city. It can't do that. I spoke with one of the drivers, and again, there are drivers.
Oh, I was going to ask you, like, is it just the Tesla car? Like,
it's just the Tesla car. There's 92 cars, I believe the guy said, in the whole loop system. Each one has a driver. They technically can go up to 40 miles per hour in the tunnels, but they're told, at least for this event, not to go more than 30 miles per hour. I'm pretty sure I go through the Lincoln Tunnel or the Holland Tunnel here in New York City much quicker than 40 miles per hour. I mean, It was fine for its very specific purpose in a very small space at a convention center. I cannot possibly see it being rolled, because look at it this way. If one of those 92 cars broke down in one of the tunnels, there's no getting to that station for as long as it takes to remove that car from the tunnel, because again, the tunnel has one singular lane. But there are RGB gamer lights in the tunnel. So
let's go.
There you go.
Speaking of which, I loved the post that you, or the picture that you took rather, of the Razer car with gaming desktops. I watched a couple of videos on CES, and it seems like just so much of this tech is really pointless. Like, I get that not all of this is going to come to consumers, but like there were so many things that just had me wondering why. For example, there was the TV that you could see through. I just can't imagine what the point of that would be. There was a bunch of different robots, like kind of like a Roomba, but like different kinds that like one can go and project things onto the wall and it could be a touchscreen. But it's like, but why would you need this? Just pull out your phone. Like, I don't know. What was your takeaway overall from it? Because it seemed really pointless based on what I saw anyways.
Right. So I like going to CES. Well, at least last year was my first time attending, and I liked going to it to be a hater. Last year was all about Web3 and the blockchain, and Metaverse was a huge thing at last year's CES. All that stuff was nearly completely entirely absent at CES. Now, CES is huge. Wild. I didn't get to every single place on the floor. It spans like 10 or 12 different subsections throughout multiple different buildings. It's at the convention center. It's at the convention center within one of the Venetian, one of the hotels. It's big. But from what I saw no Metaverse. I saw maybe one or two blockchain things that had nothing to do with crypto speculation. I saw no Web3. I would say the big trends this year were like AR, like wearables, like AR headsets and stuff like that, and AI. But with that said, it wasn't like the pointless, ridiculous stuff we see where like, oh, everyone's using like ChatGPT and it's all about AI writing tools, like, and, you know, replacing artists with AI, stealing, established artists' work and then just creating these ugly AI images with 20 fingers. It was like actual like things that you can see being used for real utility purposes, like accessibility things, or one of the big things I saw, because a number of companies were doing this, real-time auto translation. So if, like, say you're on vacation in a country where they speak Spanish or Japanese or Chinese, like you hear the auto translation of the person speaking to you in English in like the wearable you were like that's useful.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So like this year it was kind of like, yeah, there's the stuff that you'll never see, the stuff that's kind of silly, but like nothing was harmful. Nothing was grifting. Nothing was, at least what I saw. So it was totally different CES. The AI hype you see online was not there. Metaverse and Web3 and blockchain, as it pertains to CES, is dead, at least for now. So,
Can I ask why? Like, how did that happen? Because like Web3 was supposed to completely change the way all commerce and information and everything was done on the internet. Like, we were supposed to blockchain everything. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm super thrilled that's not happening. It was going to be a disaster, but like, it's not like Bitcoin is at zero, right? It's not like crypto's gone. Right. Crypto's always going to have like a place as long as people can make money off of it. So like, what happened?
I mean, I think obviously the collapse of the crypto market was huge. A lot of companies decided that they weren't going to stay in, or they were getting out, or a lot of them weren't even doing this stuff to begin with and were just using the buzzwords to pretend they were like a Web3 company because it was the cool thing to pretend to be. I mean, when it comes to the metaverse, that was Facebook's baby, and everyone thought Facebook was going to lead the charge there. And they lost billions of dollars because no one cared to use the metaverse. So, I mean, there was no like money to even piggyback off of to like remain in that space. I just think the market wasn't there for it. Like last year, you could argue that the market is about to, come into fruition, and it was about to grow, and people were just realizing like that was their problem. That was probably what they were pitching to investors. But this year, it's hard to argue that when it came, it had its moment in the limelight, and it failed miserably.
Yeah, that's
also like the barrier to entry for like a VR headset, that you already have to go over that hurdle, and then you have to hope that the person that gets that actually wants to engage socially through Facebook, which most people that I know that buy a headset are gamers. Like that's largely the audience. So I don't know. And even then, it's not a lot of people. Like VR gaming is not massive either right now, and it's been out for a decade at this point. So it's just it's too expensive. People have no money, and there's just very little time and interest to spend in your head on a headset as opposed to doing anything else.
No, right. I think
and nobody wants to talk to people like Metalverse, so you can talk to your Facebook friends. I don't want to talk to any of these people.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
But it's all free on VR chat, and that's popular. I think like
yeah,
VR chat already did it better for free, and there was nothing anyone like. I think the problem with the metaverse is that they were pitching it as this can replace your jobs. Like this could be your job, and it's like, do you want to go into a fantasy world where you work in an office all day? And everyone was like, no, that's like that looks and sounds horrible. Why would anyone want that?
It's very
it ruins the whole purpose of or one of the benefits of working from home is that you see that you're in your home. if you're at home working from home and you're back at work, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, I remember they had like this concept of shopping where you had your VR headset and a shopping cart, and you're picking like this ugly PS1 like store, and you're like grabbing something, put it in.
As opposed to like buy. Purchased.
Yeah.
So
like,
much
how
easier.
Is that more convenient?
Why do you want to spend why do you want to spend time in the store when the whole point of online shopping is you don't have to be at the store.
Skip it. Right. I can do something else now.
So ridiculous.
Right. Matt, I'm curious. Right. There was one thing that I saw that I'm not like optimistic about it, but I thought that could be interesting if done right. So there's a gaming monitor that is 3D without glasses that's similar to the 3DS. Like it's stereoscopic 3D, and you don't need to did you get to try that?
I did not. Well, first of all, let me just ask, am I lagging for you guys? Because everyone's lagging for me.
A tiny bit.
Okay. I might have
your
to
voice
restart.
is off your voice is off a bit, but it's not like it's out of sync a bit, but you're not really lagging, at least not for me.
Okay. Well, I didn't get to see that one. I saw 3D monitors last year, and I thought they were cool, but I didn't see them this year. The big thing this year were those transparent displays from Samsung and TCL. They were like the big, I think, hit this year, where it just looks like a big slab of glass, and then you turn the TV on, like see-through glass, and the display shows up where that like slab of see-through glass was. Cool, but
what are the black
but
levels
also,
on that?
but also like, harmless too. Like not
good.
like horrible tech. Like just cool.
Yeah.
It's
okay. That's mid, but it's not gonna bring about the destruction of jobs or do anything too negative. I like that. I like the cautious optimism there.
Right.
Rebecca, how's it going?
Sorry, y'all. Had my Alexa playing. But how are you guys doing? Sorry, I'm just popping in.
Oh, nice. You replaced Binder. Upgrade.
Yeah, we were just getting an update with with his trip to CES, but now that you're here, we don't need him. We kicked him out.
All right, where'd he go? Look, he got mad.
Oh no, I just wanted to reset to see if that fixed. Is my voice still off, or is it?
It looks better now.
It looks better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Nice. How was your week, Rebecca?
Oh, it was how was my week? It was it's been a lot, like work, but I had a good therapy session, and
good.
I had I'm not somebody who set like this year, I would say like too many resolutions this year, because I feel like I started like at the end like of December. I was like, okay, you know what? Or even like the beginning of December, I was like, okay, you know what? We're gonna do some things. And like I said in the short clip that I had posted, I've already failed like a lot. And I think this week it was a lot of failures. And I was taking it a little hard on myself. So it was kind of hard, but then I was really like speaking like words of affirmation in those times. Not like I would say in a corny way, but I was more so like, okay, I'm thankful for what I have. I'm thankful for this. Every time something was going wrong, I would just find something to be thankful for. And that was helpful for me to get through the week. So it wasn't bad. I just had to navigate through some issues during the week, but it was all right.
Nice. No resolution is going to be perfect. That's one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I think we all, there's like even statistics about this. Like one of the most popular resolutions is like fitness and gym, and people usually stop altogether within like 2 weeks, I think it is. So, but sometimes people don't. Like I had a New Year's resolution last year to lose weight and go to the gym, and I stopped, but then started again, and then I met my goal. So, it's sometimes you just fuck up, but it's okay.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like I said, you could mess up a million times, but you gotta be, because I mean, I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Like I've been doing the dry January without necessarily, like, I didn't know that was a thing until I went to the store. And now Target has like these champagne bottles. Like they have a section for it. Beer, but it's non-alcoholic. Champagne, non-alcoholic, like a whole section. I didn't even know that they catered to that. But I've been doing that, and that's been really good. Like just going through the month, not that I'm like a drunk or anything, but I do love a good glass of wine. And on Fridays, I will go get me some Haitian rum and have that, like a little party after work in my home, and take my ass to sleep. But I've been doing that, and that's been really helpful navigating through like issues without feeling like I need a drink. I need a drink because it's been a day, it's been a week. So that's been good. And working out too hasn't been like sluggish. When I'm drinking, I know I'll be like fighting through it. I ain't gonna hold you. I fight through it. And because it's been so cold, I haven't been able to go hiking like I usually do. So I've been doing like inside or at the gym here. And I don't be wanting to get up. So like, but being sober, I'm like, okay, I'm awake. I'm not sluggish. So I get to just get up and do what I need to do and do work. So that's been helpful. But the non-alcohol, they have a lot of non-alcoholic, alcohol-looking drinks.
So for January, it's a big thing with Gen Z. Gen Z, apparently, they're not as big on alcohol and drinking as like millennials were. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We are.
How do they survive?
Yeah.
How do they survive through life?
Right.
Prescription drugs, probably, or
okay.
Oh, that's fair.
It's always something.
Just trade one vice for another. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Just different substances, really.
Interesting.
But that's good. Generation Z gets it. I mean, alcohol has been. I think I started drinking more, and I'm blaming everything on the pandemic. Like at the beginning of the pandemic, we were having parties at home. Remember that we were having like parties on Zoom. Like I was meeting up with old college friends I ain't seen in like 10 years. And we're all online and having our like birthday parties or joining together, and everybody had drinks. I mean, the liquor store stayed open and they were making a lot of money, and I was drinking everything in it, like wine. I don't even drink vodka like that, but we had like vodka. I bought it just because it was pink and it was cute. And and we were just drinking. I tried new margaritas, like all kinds of things. And then I realized, girl, like you're gaining so much weight. It was food, ordering out all the time. It was a mess, but
I think everyone went through that in COVID.
Oh yeah,
like that's the first time I would see friends like blacked out in Zoom calls. This is wild.
Yeah. It was a wild
future.
Yeah, this is the future.
And now we're all like in therapy, or we're all like, trying to wean off of some, like whatever our vice was at the time to get us through. Like people are trying to like not be so dependent on it and know they can, hey, I can live without that. There was a point in time that I did. I can, minimize this usage and be okay. So
yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I have not made any progress towards my New Year's resolutions, unfortunately.
That's all right.
But
care to share
I'm not
what they are?
give up.
Yeah, what are yours?
Mine was kind of vague. It was just more like try to take. So last year was me taking my physical health seriously, and I do feel like I accomplished that. But I mean, it's a work in progress. This year, I really want to take my mental health seriously, and I'm not sure what that means. Like maybe see a therapist or something like that. I have reached out to a couple of clinics, but they haven't gotten back to me. It's just a matter of like figuring out who takes my insurance. I did start my own at-home cognitive behavioral therapy for panic disorder.
Okay.
And I we'll see how it goes. I'll keep doing that. But basically, you're supposed to simulate panic attacks by giving yourself a panic attack through various means. Like if you kind of feel shortness of breath, you're supposed to breathe through a straw for several minutes. Like things like if you're claustrophobic, you're supposed to like you're supposed to do it over and over and over again until you get used to the feeling to where you don't really have that fear anymore. So that's kind of how I'm trying to. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm trying to recalibrate my brain. I've done this before. Like my anxiety with like really long car rides and stuff like that. It went away when I had to commute to work and to school. But since now, I don't really leave. I don't have a reason to leave as much. There's not really like the potential for me to expose myself to that and trigger my claustrophobia. So when I am in a situation where I'm in a car for like 30 minutes, it's like, oh fuck, I'm having hot flashes. Like this is annoying. So yeah, just trying to work through that and then force myself to do more things.
That's good. That's really good. I mean, what therapy can come in. That's what I was saying last time. Therapy can come in so many different forms. It doesn't have to be talk therapy. So whatever works for you, works for you. So that sounds good that you're working towards something. So that's good.
Yeah. So on the subject of politics and stuff, I shared a link with you all to a video because I feel like this week Biden is going out of his way to like it feels like he's not trying to win. So there's a video today that went viral where he was talking about, is our bombing campaign in Yemen working? No. Are we going to continue it? Yes. And then there was this interview on The View where Sunny Hostin asked Kamala Harris what the Biden administration's response is to young people, Gen Z, millennials, when it comes to Israel-Palestine. And her answer was just so bad. And somebody pointed this out on Twitter. Look at the way she speaks about October 7th and then the Gazan genocide. And the way that all of a sudden when she switches to talking about Gaza, there's just this lack of humanity. And coupled with the fact that like her answer is abysmal, it just is like I feel like at this point I've kind of just accepted that they're going to lose and Trump's going to be the next president based on how they're handling this.
Many say that one of your many strengths as a surrogate is your connection to young people.
Nobody
I
says
believe
this,
that
by
to
the
be
way.
True.
But she's trying to be
voters
nice.
between 18 and 29 years old stand out as disapproving of the way the Biden administration is handling the Israel-Hamas war. They do not support sending weapons and money to Israel. They are advocating for a humanitarian ceasefire. How does the administration respond to the concerns of this very important part of the Democratic voter base?
So let's start with this. And you're right, Sonny. In fact, in the fall, I embarked on what I called a college tour and met with over 15,000 students across the country. I just have to say I love Gen Z, by the way. I think it's a spectacular generation.
Let's pause there for a second. That comes off as so forced. Like, by the way. Also, by the way, vote for us, please. Please vote for us, please.
I love Gen Z, and I was at the HBCUs. I was because I went to one. Gen Z, shout out to Gen Z. It's given, yeah.
Could you rewind it really quick before we replay it? Just so I can hear. I want to hear what the question was again.
Sure.
Stop it.
One of your many strengths as a surrogate is your connection to young people. I believe that to be true. Now, voters between 18 and 29 years old stand out as disapproving of the way the Biden administration is handling the Israel-Hamas war. They do not support sending weapons and money to Israel. They are advocating for a humanitarian ceasefire. How does the administration respond to the concerns of this very important part of the Democratic voter base?
So let's start with this. And and you're right, Sonny. In fact, in the fall, I embarked on what I called a college tour and met with over 15,000 students across the country. I just have to say I love Gen Z, by the way. I think it's a spectacular generation. But all of that to say, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
I have talked with young people, many around the country, and I've heard them, I see them, and I understand. I understand. But I think it's important that while we understand where they're coming from, which I do, that we not lose sight of the context, which is, let's just go back to October 7th. We can't deny the significance of a vicious, brutal attack that caused the death of 1,200 innocent people, a lot of them young people who are just attending a concert.
Yeah.
Women who were brutally assaulted and raped. And again, as someone who spent a lot of my career focused on those kinds of crimes, the horror of it. And all of that to also then say, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does matters.
Hold on. Oh, the pause there, and then the way she was like, and how it does matters.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
because
this is
let's
not-
say
this
there's
is
like
not-
a school shooter. Do you bomb the school to get the shooter? Because that's
You
what
definitely
Israel's
bomb the
doing to
school.
Gaza.
No, you definitely bomb the school. This is what
You bomb
they-
the town.
Yeah, you bomb the town.
Sorry, yeah, you bomb the entire town.
How can you be
Yes.
sure until the whole town is gone? That's what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I love how right after being like Gen Z is cool, she says the most condescending thing ever. And you know, in case you didn't know, October 7th was bad. You dumb
As if
Gen
that's, by
Zers.
the way, she's like,
right?
by the way, I got to add context here. October 7th. How about the 50 years prior to October? How about like the entire history?
Right.
How do you ignore all of that context?
Yeah.
The only context is the single terror attack that you're mentioning. Like it's so dishonest.
How about yesterday? How about right now? With the
Right.
people who are that, like, how about you talking about October 7th? And I'm not like what we know here, especially here. We all talk about this all the time. Nobody should be dying. And you're wanting to point out this thing, the concert again, and make that a thing. But since then, how many more people died? Okay. Let's talk about that, what we've been seeing. But go ahead, keep playing it, because see, I'm gonna get deep.
There have been far too many innocent Palestinians that have been killed. The president and I and many members of our administration have been very clear.
The difference in
I've been
tone.
on
Yeah,
over I
right?
think 14, 15 calls that the president has had with Bibi Netanyahu about
Bibi,
what
your
Israel
good
must
friend.
do to protect innocent civilians. We all want this to end as soon as possible. And how it ends matters.
Yeah.
Which includes that Israel must be secure, that there must be an equal measure of security for the Palestinians who are entitled to dignity and self-determination. The hostages must be freed. And since the first day, I have been very focused, in addition to all we just discussed, on the day after. I do believe we must be committed to an eventual two-state solution.
Eventual.
And we have articulated.
And by the
what
way,
that
can you pause
looks
it really
like, and
quick? Today, just today, Netanyahu said, "From the river to the sea," unironically, Israel will control all of that. All of that.
Yeah.
So, just to give you some additional context, you know, of what when she's saying this.
Netanyahu is publicly spitting in the face of the Biden administration after they're publicly saying, "Hey, we want to see, you know, this is what we want to see after the end of this so-called war, even though one side's doing all the bombing. This is what we want to see is, you know, two states." Netanyahu just saying, "No, that's not going to happen. That we're going to control everything from the river to the sea," using that phrase that has been so widely condemned when anyone on the left uses it in reaction or in response and trying to advocate for a single state solution with equal rights for everybody. But when leaders in Israel literally say, "No, we want to destroy Gaza completely, take over all of the land," it's just this is their partner. Netanyahu is their partner. That's the guy they're sending weapons to. That's the guy that Biden is ignoring Congress to continually fund. And how can you possibly think you can hold a state accountable when you give them everything that they want while claiming, "Oh, but we are advocating for our position, and they're, you know, we're in talks. They're listening. Why would they listen to anything you're saying if you already give them everything they want, regardless? It's just the entire strategy here is obviously ridiculous and not working. If they actually, by the way, if they actually care, if they're actually being serious, which I don't. It's hard to think that the Biden administration actually wants any kind of solution here when their actions don't show that.
Yeah, and on top of that, keep in mind, only 11 Democrats in the Senate voted for Bernie Sanders' resolution to simply have the State Department report on whether or not Israel is doing human rights abuses. I mean, you don't really need that report. It's pretty obvious, but like it was a way to just say, hey, we do care and we're just going to follow up on. There's like, no, fuck it. We're not even going to try to rein them in. So this is why they're doing that. So every single time they say, yeah, they've killed too many Palestinians, we do care about this, you know, how they defend themselves matter, proportionality matter. Like they don't, like they're just lying.
Mm-hmm. It's also like it's a massive disconnect from where like Gen Z is at on this. I don't know if you've watched like TikToks by like, you know, very famous or big Gen Z accounts. They are so tuned into this issue. Like what she's talking about right now, this could have been talking points maybe, you know, near the end of October or something. We're at a point now where you've got like hundreds, if not thousands of doctors going to the UN saying, hey, the mass starvation that we warned you about, that's taking place now. We're at the point where like babies are dying because their mothers don't have enough milk to feed them. So now newborns are dying. That's how fucked up it is. Like over 10 kids a day are having limbs amputated without anesthetic. Like at this point, to keep doing this condescending bullshit where it's like, well, we have said that we want to, you know, obviously limit the amount of human suffering. Like we're witnessing this shit happen in real time. Everyone is like, this is fucking fucked. Stop. I don't know. It's wild.
Yeah. Like, why can't she mention the word ceasefire? We haven't heard her call out what's happening in Gaza or Palestine specifically. It's like she has to stick to the point. She has to stick to the talking points that keep Israel seeming like they're the only ones. But in comparison, if we juxtapose the two, Gaza, Palestine, the people are dying. They are going to obliterate that place, and Israel will still stand. And all of the allies, including us, will still back them. So,
yeah.
Met with not only Israeli leaders, but Arab leaders about what that can look like if we have a commitment to the day after. So all of these things are true.
Madam Vice President, I like the sound of that. It took 244 years and 49 men for us to be able to say,
It did.
Madam Vice President.
It did. People are dying.
Never take it for granted. But let's talk about race in our own country.
Okay.
At a time when the Democratic Party is losing some support among Latinos.
This one, it's honestly not worth it. She just responds to Nikki Haley saying that America has never been a racist country. Her answer here is perfectly reasonable. Nothing worth criticizing. I just wish that, like, first of all, I'm really thankful that Sunny Hostin actually asked this question. I think that's super important. I just wish that there was a follow-up, but she probably only had one shot to take, and that was it. Then we had Anna Navarro come in with the bootlicking, but it's
not the
so
bootlicking. But I really wanted to hear what she said, because that would have been my first time hearing that. But because I remember maybe 2 years ago, was it? She said that America wasn't a racist country. Kamala Harris said this.
She said that?
Yes, she did. And I remember.
Did she? I don't remember that at all.
I covered it. And she said America isn't racist. And this is when this is the beginning of COVID. We were all fighting for something to be done for the protection of Black people here in America. And then with COVID at the same time, we saw an uptick in Asian abuse and Asian hate crimes. So then the Asian hate crime bill happened, and we didn't get anything for the African Americans or Black people in America. And so she did say that. And a lot of people were like, hold on, sis. Like, wait a minute. Like, that's not. So I wanted to hear what she said.
I have that right here, actually. Okay, yeah, that might be because I have the article right here from The Hill.
Maybe America wasn't a racist country then, and it
at that time. It was definitely racist. That's why she said that, and then all of a sudden signed off on the anti-Asian hate crime. So that happened. So she knew that America was definitely racist, and she would have never had supported that bill to make sure that the Asians were protected because of Donald Trump's comments on China and, it being the China flu, all of that. And they were getting attacked in the streets. So she knew what's up. It's just, like I said, talking points. You got to stick to it. So
just to clarify, though, Nikki Haley said that the U.S. has never been a racist country.
Yeah,
I think
that's what she said.
That's probably the difference between her
and Nikki
Kamala.
Haley's name. I really would love to name her by her. Was it Nimrata?
She's also, yes, her actual name, of course, which she doesn't use. But she's also discussed how she's faced racism, and I believe she's used those words. So for her to like maybe I don't know. Again, I'm not to get Nikki Haley's head is weird.
And but Kamala Harris said that we weren't in a time where race was literally at the top of an issue. At that time, we were dealing with the George Floyds, we were dealing with the Breonna Taylors, we were having to fight for Black Lives Matter to be recognized. They were blaming Black Lives Matter for a whole bunch of stuff that we had nothing to do with at the time. It was a lot happening at that time. And then Asians, nobody wants, and again, and this is the thing, we don't want any minority to be abused for being who you are, for your skin color, for none of it. No one should be for their skin color. And having to fight for that was a thing. And her representing the Asian side and also the Black side, she's both. So we were looking for something there, and for that to have been a comment, that's why I wanted to see how she was going to answer it there. And if she said something,
I can show it if you want to see it.
I would love to hear. I would just love to hear it.
I do have the quote. So the headline from The Hill is Kamala Harris agrees with Senator Tim Scott, a Republican, that America is not a racist country. And she said, and I quote, "No, I don't think America is a racist country." So
it happened. I remember I covered it like nobody's business. I went off that day.
During 2021 to say this. Wow.
Never take it for granted. But let's talk about race in our own country.
Okay.
At a time when the Democratic Party is losing some support among Latinos, among Black voters, Nikki Haley, who like you is of Southeast Asian descent, said this week that this country has never been a racist country. So let me ask you directly. Do you agree that America has never been a racist country?
First of all, and I think everyone agrees, we all agree, the issue of race in America is not something that should be the subject of a soundbite.
Yeah, and then she does a soundbite.
The history of racism in America should never be the subject of a soundbite or a question that is meant to elicit a one-sentence answer.
Girl, so
but there is
answer it.
no denying that we have in our history as a nation racism, and that racism has played a role in the history of our nation. And when I think about it, I think we all would agree that while it is part of our past and we see vestiges of it today, we should also be committed collectively to not letting it define the future of our country. But we cannot get to a place of progress on the issue of race by denying the existence of racism, by denying
that was like 6 sound bites in a row.
Of racism.
It was.
To suggest that enslaved people benefited from slavery. We will not grow as a country to push that kind of approach and doctrine and misinformation. It is not in our best interest to evolve on the issue of race in America to suggest that the Civil War was prompted by anything other than slavery in America. It is not in the best interest of our progress as a nation to ban books and deny
this is 17 sound bites, baby. We got 20.
Just going for the high score.
I got just a heads up. I got a message on my YouTube stream saying that this is copyrighted content.
You got a copyright strike?
What?
Oh damn.
No,
mine too. Your stream has been temporarily blocked. We detected video belonging to a copyright source.
Oh,
how could you? This was commentary. All right, we were criticizing this. We were saying this is shit. This is poo-poo.
I have used The View many a time in my videos, especially when Meghan McCain was on The View.
So what do you do when that happens? You log out and come back in?
Right now. There's no video.
Yeah, it's not. The stream is unavailable.
No, mine's fine. Mine's up.
Yeah, mine is too.
Mine is unavailable.
I've never had an issue. I've never had an issue with The View.
I'll be
back.
My
YouTube's down. My Twitch is up.
Let me check.
I'll be back.
No, mine's fine. Well, send those super chats to National Humanist Report. We're good.
Rebecca, I still see yours. Let me see. I see Matt and Rebecca's. And David.
I mean,
yeah.
it's up, but it says stream unavailable.
Let me try to watch
Let me see.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, wow.
No, it works. I clicked.
Rebecca's
Well,
works,
sorry,
but
mine
Matt's-
works. I'm not sure.
Matt's is not working. It does say
Wonderful.
stream unavailable.
Wonderful.
Wow.
That's so random. We've used
yeah.
clips many times on this show as well without you guys having
The
issues.
View is pretty heady about how they actually copyright strike. I should have said something.
Well, it's I mean, clearly it's automatic, right? Like they're not. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
But for some
it's
reason,
the K-Hives that tried to take us out. I didn't know that.
Main microphone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's the K-Hives. They're
Well, if we want to get some non-copyright Kamala content, I put a link to the TikTok impersonator of Kamala Harris, who is
Wait, but
the
again,
best.
we're talking to nobody right now. Let's restart the stream.
But no, we
we're
are
still
talking to
streaming.
people.
And what's wrong with that? Why can't we just hang out and have a conversation?
I know.
Oh wait, my stream's back.
Is it?
Again, my stream is fine. So Mike's yours is fine,
we're
right?
back. We're
Yeah,
back.
mine's
We're back.
fine.
We're good. My YouTube.
Rebecca's was never down for me.
It probably. It sounds like it was just you, Matt, for like half a
Rebecca's-
second.
it's
I think it's
Rebecca.
fine.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, mine's up.
Is there a certain amount of audience viewers you need us to wait for, Binder, before you're willing to have a conversation?
The number hasn't even changed on screen for me. It's still like over 1,000, so I think we're fine.
That sucks though. Why did that happen?
I don't know.
It's just I think it's just auto. It was just like an auto.
Yeah, but it's weird how.
Rebecca, is yours back?
Oh, you're back.
No, I just took it down. I put up another one. So, and I keep putting up the wrong date on that. But yeah, I just took it down. It was down. It was telling me that it's not available.
Yeah,
It seems
I
like
think
Matt's is back.
It
right?
blurs out the. It blurs out like it shows a message that says this stream is not available while you're playing that content. And I guess when it detects you stop playing that content.
So I should have left it playing, but it's okay. I'll
Okay.
just roll over to the new stream.
Okay. Well, now just to we should play the impersonator of Kamala because I do want everybody to see that. Let me pull that.
That
up.
was
Give me
very
a second.
weird though.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that before. That must be.
I blame K-Hive. It was K-Hive.
Yeah. Well, K-Hive, we love you and we'll never stop loving you. Okay. But here's this for you. I'm going to share it. They're going to love it. It's objectively hilarious.
Sorry, I opened your link.
Have you seen it? It's so good.
I'm trying to find out how to stop. What the hell's going on here? Here, you're gonna share it. All right, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay.
Kamala Harris. I am here with representative. Okay, Charlotte. You're a very great representative. And I want to stress bipartisanship. Charlie here is a Republican. Okay. Well, I am a Democrat. Is that a coyote?
Pretty good.
Is that a coyote? No, it's not a coyote. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear that banshee? There was a banshee and it screamed. Did you hear it? The game is called Go
So
Down.
wholesome.
The laugh is on point.
Yeah.
It's a one-person game. Okay, I guess I'll watch. That's good. That's a fun game. Should I go down the slide? That wasn't as fun for me. Okay. I don't understand the allure.
I just can't take her seriously. She sits on the show, and that was a good impersonation, by the way.
Yeah, just
very
FYI,
good.
Alien Reese on TikTok. She's really, really funny.
I need to get back on TikTok. Like I can't do the dancing no more. I mean, I can, but I ain't got time. But Kamala Harris, I haven't seen her in ages, and I know that they're making their moves, and she's outside again because they're campaigning and they're trying to pull their crowds, and they're trying to. They know the issue, the biggest one, and every time they go somewhere, they're going to sit down with people, and I don't like that they're going to use the fact that she is the first woman, Black vice or black Asian vice president type of thing. The administration is still doing wrong. So I need people to challenge her on that. I know the question that was asked by Sunny was a bit, it was I would say a challenging question at The View. But for her to answer the question and the questions and how she answered them lets me know there's no sincerity there. And I would have loved for her to name Palestine by name, Gaza by name, to just like acknowledge them as people who have been dying, been affected gravely by this war, by what's happening. But of course, that's not going to happen. And I think that's her interview at The View will hurt their campaign even more. Like you said, it's just like they want to lose almost.
Yeah.
But I don't think that she wants to go out with her name being attached to it when they do leave office. And so they're going to do this cleanup so that she's not so it's not like she never answered those questions. She's not a part of that history, but maybe you will be. That blood will be on your hands. I just don't like that this is how I know that she has to stick to the script, and that's what we're getting. But we're listening and we're seeing that. And if you want to appeal to Generation Z, Gen Zers, this ain't gonna be the way because they tougher than millennials when it comes to that. That's stressing them out.
Right, and the problem is it's such a non-answer. And I actually looked at some of the comments to that video, and The View's audience is very, very liberal. Like they are almost as blue MAGA as it gets. And almost all of the comments were saying that was such a terrible answer, and they're happy that Sunny had asked the question because it's like they kind of seemingly have their head in the sand, or they're just choosing to not even try to win over Gen Z, which honestly, at this point, it's a really cynical point of view, but it seems like they're just trying to not win over Gen Z. And there's this idea that maybe Biden is focused more on converting moderate Republicans as opposed to winning over Gen Z, which I mean, sure, you don't have to pick and choose, but just like he knows that moderate Republicans don't care about Palestine at all. And even a lot of moderate Democrats, a lot of liberals don't. It is a young people thing that in particular, an Arab American thing that he is struggling with. He is trying to win back Arab Americans, at least in a small way. He tried to set up a meeting with some Arab leaders in, I think, Michigan, but a lot of them were not even willing to talk to him. Mm-hmm. So that's, I mean, it shows you that, okay, there's this like instinct in him to think, oh, I should try to repair this bridge. It's a little bit tone deaf to do that as you're still doing the genocide, but he at least he has the self-awareness to realize I should do this. When it comes to Gen Z, it's just like, fuck off. Like that's the sense.
It's too little too late. Like,
right.
What are you talking about? They've been dying for a minute now. And a lot of people have been murdered. And you guys are still parading around as if there's no blood on your hands. You guys haven't aided in this. And that's problematic. And I think that when you're just not being sincere, when you guys are showing up and you want these old accolades for being the first and for attaching yourself to the first, and we're tired of it. Like I said, even when Barack Obama was president, it was beautiful. Like we went through that already. So, but when things were wrong and when things needed to be questioned, like we're going to do that too. Great to have you as president. Love you. Mean it. But now we got some other things to talk about. And Kamala, I haven't seen you since you sworn in, maybe 3 times, baby. Like, I don't understand. So this is a great time to start answering some questions and to show yourself, and this is the best time, because if y'all ain't going to win, baby, you shouldn't be going out like this. You just shouldn't be going out like this. But I understand she has to stick to the script. It's
not going to work, though. That's the fucked up thing. Like, people aren't just going to turn this off. You're not going to forget this, especially like key demographics that you need to win in like swing states, Arab voters, Muslim voters, young people, people of color. They're not all suddenly just going to be like, oh, yeah, we're past that now. Yeah. I mean,
it's not about canceling either. Like, this is beyond that. This is actually people understanding what leadership should look like, what we want our leadership to feel like. And if this is what we're going to have for Democrats, or, this ain't it. This is not what we want to sign up for just because you are the first woman and woman of color vice president. We made strides with that. We get that. We acknowledge that. But there's bigger fish to fry here. There's bigger things to have a conversation about. And where are you on the side of that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. They try to gaslight us and make us feel like we're still making progress as a society because there is improvements when it comes to descriptive representation, right? We had the first Black president, now the first female president. Like, these are all objectively good things, I think, but it is not a substitute for actual policy. It's not a substitute for actually making progress. Because the reason why descriptive representation in theory is supposed to matter is because that's going to get better substantive representation for these marginalized groups that were historically disrepresented and excluded. But that's not the case with these Democrats. And they do this to every single group. Like back in 2020, I remember after Pete Buttigieg tried to steal the fucking Iowa caucus from Bernie Sanders, there were these liberal ass celebrities like Billy Eichner who was saying, can we just all stop complaining? The first gay man maybe won the I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't give a shit what his identity is right now. He's not going to do shit for me when it comes to student debt. And shut the fuck up. Like, if somebody wins and they have the right policies and it's like, oh, they also happen to be gay. Okay, cool. Wow, we've really come far with regard to that. But like, it's not the end all be all. And to these neoliberal Democrats who don't actually have the policy substance, they kind of like over rely on that as a crutch where it's like, hey, I get that, you're mad about the genocide, but Biden has a bunch of gay people in his administration. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, they're so tone deaf and they're misreading the moment and they don't know how to talk to Gen Z. So it's just kind of like, whatever.
It only means that gay people are electable, but not that gay people have equal rights. That's what that milestone basically means, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And they want you to focus on that. Like, I get a gold star because I did this. And this means, I'm like, okay, that's great. But does that mean for my future when I decide to have children, or even for myself, what does that help with my housing costs? Does that help with me getting health insurance? Does that help with my education? All of these student loans that I have. What does me putting you in place look like for me and 4 years or 8 years or whatever in the future? That's what we start. I remember when I first got into politics about like 8 years ago. Oof. Child, I was a young thing. But, when I did, and I remember Ben sitting me down because I'm so used to journalism and just really giving you the who, what, when, where, and why. And this is when Trump just got in office. So now digital journalism gave you the free space to start actually giving the facts first. And then we go into conversation where we're actually getting real and, whatever. So digital journalism gave us that. So I remember him sitting me down because I was just so used to giving my journalism voice, reading off a script. And he was like, let me sit you down real quick. What do you think about Kamala Harris? And I'm like, she's the first Black and she is. And she went to an HBCU. And he's like, what do you know about Kamala Harris? And I said, well, she worked, in criminal justice. And what do you know? So then he gave me homework. And he's like, go outside of your journalism hat and start thinking about.
What was that part of it?
Yeah, I was calling her by the wrong name too. And he was like, go outside of that, and what would that look like if she represented you? Know her history, and then come back to me. So he gave me and my two colleagues who were both journalists as well that homework. We came back like, oh, Kamala, because that's her name, because we was like Kamala, and he's like, no, get her name right first of all. So, and we were just like, oh my goodness, I don't think that, like, why would she? And he was like, okay, now let's have a conversation on if she was vice president, what that would look like. And so we would have these mock conversations. And then we started saying, okay, you know what? We can see it beyond this person being the first, because, we can see it beyond her being a woman. How does that help us? Does her being in office actually help women instead of just having conversations about what it would look like to help women? Where does she actually stand? What's her history? So, what would that look like if you were to have children and all of this stuff? So now that started to become something that I started looking at, because it can't just be, damn, she fly. Oh, she's strolling. Oh, she had her hair in a wrap. She used to wear bamboo earrings on the yard at an HBCU. I went to an HBCU. I wore door knockers as well. But I mean, like, where are we going with that? We were cute then, and it was great that she's part of our HBCU history, but what she has represented and a lot of things, like, it doesn't help. I can't say that her being Black vice president, but her standing beside genocide, just because she's Black, I'm not going to sit here and be like, but she's a sister. It doesn't work for me. We can't do that.
It's like that comic, I don't know if you saw, and I can't remember who it's from, where it's like, it's these bombs getting dropped, and the people who are being bombed are like, wow, it's so nice to witness progress. It's the first woman who's bombing us. Like, it's just, yeah, you know, and that's not like, again, I don't want to like perpetuate this false equivalence between Democrats and Republicans. I don't want to make it seem like there's no difference between Biden and Trump. Obviously, our audience knows that. But like, it's just really frustrating how tone deaf and out of touch they are. Like, for all of this talk from Biden about how important democracy is, he needs to act like it and try to fucking win. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, I gotta interject there, and I think, you know, I agree for the most part on what you just said in terms of there being no difference between Democrats and you know, obviously there is.
Right.
On this particular issue, though.
Oh, right, on this issue, yeah.
I really don't think there is.
Oh,
in terms of at least actionable, you know, actions, I should say, that have occurred. You know, because. Sure, Trump might have, maybe Trump, if he was in charge right now, he would just let Netanyahu know outright, quite publicly, that he has full support. He would, you know, destroy Hamas, to do this, do what you got to do. And then Biden, the administration, basically says, you know, they're our allies, October 7th. We have reiterated our concerns about, but in terms of what's actually going on, there's no change. Because at the end of the day, the actual pressure being put on Israel is pretty much the same between either party, between either administration. I mean, I do think whenever the aftermath happens, I think there'll be a difference. I do think there will be pushback from Democrats if Israel tries to reoccupy Gaza and settle there, whereas the Trump administration would be gung-ho about letting them and helping them do it, actually. But in terms of like what the Palestinians are going through right now in Gaza, I'm sorry. You can wag your finger at Israel all you want. If the end result is still absolute mass casualties of innocent civilians and no recourse, no repercussions to Israel, it's the same between either a Biden administration or Trump administration. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and again, like, I keep seeing this thing from liberals, not as much anymore, because I feel like the liberals are just like shutting up at this point, because how do you continue to defend the indefensible? But like, there's this idea, man, well, what can Biden do? He's expressed concerns. It's not just a matter of like Biden begrudgingly going along with this. Like, he's a willing participant. Like, I've talked about this before, but Trita Parsi has a really great article in The Nation. I've cited it like 3 or 4 times in my videos, where he explains how Reagan called up the Israeli prime minister when they were bombing Lebanon and demanded that they stopped, called it a Holocaust, and suspended cluster munitions. And within 20 minutes of that phone call, they stopped. Like, Biden has the leverage to do that, but he hasn't exercised that. He hasn't even entertained the notion that that's something he would consider. He bypassed Congress to give them more weapons, and he has his whole party behind him. I mean, again, only 11 Democrats voted to even have the State Department maybe kind of entertain whether or not they're doing human rights violations. So if Netanyahu sees this weak bullshit, why does he? There's no incentive for him to comply with the concerns expressed publicly by the Biden administration. And one of the Likud party members who's in the Knesset said this. Like, there's a clip shared by Trita Parsi actually on Twitter, and I can't remember which member of the Knesset said this, but it was basically something to the effect of, look, we have disagreements with the Biden administration, but there's been no ultimatums, so we're going to do what we want to do. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the extent of it. I have the clip in my recent video about this. So because there's no red lines drawn, because there's no ultimatums, there's no threats, they're doing what they want. Biden knows that he has leeway and leverage, but he's not using that because he wants this to continue. He agrees with the policy of Israel, despite him trying to placate us by saying, oh, we're concerned. It's a choice.
I will say, though, from like, and this is something that Olay touched on in her video about voting. From the activist perspective, the Democratic Party is at least a party that you can protest. and potentially something, and the administration may not change, but or at least not immediately, but there can be pressure put on a Democratic Party and members of that party that could potentially have an effect. Whereas a Republican Party in power, you're going to have, they don't give a shit at all. Like they'll step all over you as they'll arrest the protesters. So I'm not saying that anything will change. I'm not saying the administration will act in response to activists, but it is a different dynamic than
he's the
if
weaker
Republicans
adversary.
were in power. Yeah.
Go South Africa.
Yeah. That was a great video that you did, David, about South Africa.
Oh yeah.
That whole response to that really pissed me off. And I think we talked about this last week with John Fetterman, right? Where he was saying, hey, maybe they should sit this one out.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of these people. By the way, on the subject of John Fetterman, I got triggered when I mentioned him. So I have to bring this up too. There are reports that he's writing a book called Unfettered about his mental health. And it's like, hang on a second. Okay. Why aren't you using your power to try to expand mental health access? Like it's great to hear you talk about your struggles personally, but not everyone can afford a therapist or let alone afford to check themselves into an actual mental institution if they're feeling these thoughts. Like, what are you doing to improve mental health for all of us? Like, if we wanted to read a book about mental health, there's plenty of other books. Like, I don't need to hear from a fucking senator about his experience. Like, I want you to act, dummy. And he's not like, they're so useless. Democrats, God, they're so useless. They're just seat warmers. They're not fascists. That's the extent of their fucking utility.
They're going to get book deals. They're going to be fine. Like the people who are saying that they've been affected. But a lot of times we picked you to represent us or be a leader for us or be a voice for us. And you guys just ride the wave and wherever it pays, or when they're telling you to make a talking point or stand on the side, you guys will choose. I don't understand who we have as leadership right now. But like you said, David, I will agree with that. I mean, there can be change there. There can be. They're not people who I think are opposed to it, but I think sometimes we get places where people are too silent, who are supposed to be our representation. And I think that's where it becomes problematic, because we picked you to be our leaders and our voices. And when we need you guys to step up and do what you need to do, and this is not all of them, but it sucks that you are our representation and you can't speak up. Or when you do speak up, sometimes it's on the side. That is wrong. And I think that is like,
yeah, but it's reframing those in power as your opposition and who is the weaker opposition. I would say Democrats are the weaker opposition to activists than Republicans are. Republicans are actively always going to be, just, you're not going to move them on anything. Democrats are the weaker opposition.
Did you guys see when Vivek, he pulled out? Right, he ain't running for president no more, because I mean the numbers are low. But did you guys here? Let me drop it in the chat. That Ben had talked about it briefly, where he was speaking to a group of people, Republicans. And I think I said it on this show. I've said it on Like It or Not. I'm like, I don't know who he thinks he represents, but those same people, the Republicans, the people he wants to cater to, see him as Middle Eastern people who were responsible for 9/11. That's what they see him as.
There were interviews with people in Iowa who were like, I couldn't vote for him because
that's the one that I want.
So I'm just like, he's not Muslim. Wait, what?
Yeah, because his name bothers me. But I said this though. I'm like, even though you aren't even a part of the group of people from the Middle East, like that they're talking about, but they're going to look at you because it's racism, and they're going to say that you are that. And but I just dropped the clip in the chat.
Well, where Babylon Bee, do you know the Babylon Bee? They're like the right-wing Onion, basically. They put out their like joke of the day where they're like, Vivek will get a job at 7-Eleven now for the Trump administration, right? Yeah, and so a whole bunch of Republicans were in the. I was surprised. Okay, this was the wokest I've ever seen the MAGA crew. They were all dropping like kind of in poor taste. I mean, come on, the guy's on our side. How could you do this? And now there's like this little mini war going on amongst them, where like Matt Walsh, all these ghouls, they're all like, oh, everyone's got to wake up and realize like this joke isn't racist, it's hilarious, and all this kind of stuff.
They be your own people, huh?
guys, but I don't like his name. I don't like where he came from. After 9/11, I still harbor a lot of hard feelings about that.
It's okay. I mean, is he Trump? No, but he's okay.
I had somebody call me for Vivek, and that person could not say his last name. But I was like, come on, are you just picking people out of the street or what? Like, you got to be able to say the candidate's name. I'm sorry.
No other candidate did more to pass up.
Yeah. You got to be able to say the
It's
candidate's
amazing.
name. I didn't like your name. You remind me of the people who, you know, were responsible for 9/11. I called that. I'm like, that's what they think of you as. Like, they don't care what your real history is. If you're Indian, if you're this, if you're that, Southeast, and they don't care where. They gonna look at you like you're a terrorist. And that's just what it is. It's pure racism. Then they said you got to be able to pronounce the last name. Meanwhile, their last names are like Smickenvich and all this other stuff. But this is what they're saying. See,
I actually took that call differently. That person differently. That first one, obviously, clearly racist, connecting Vivek to 9/11. But that last one, I took it as the guy is saying that he was called by someone working for Vivek's campaign.
And he told
them? The guy who was trying to convince him to vote for Vivek couldn't even pronounce his own candidate's name, meaning that the guy obviously was just like he wasn't actually really for this candidate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how I took it. Like,
I see.
You know, if you're advocating for someone and you're working for them, then I assume you should be able to pronounce their name correctly.
But they don't care to do so. You can look. We knew when we were watching, like how they treated him, in the debates after the first 5 minutes when he came in a little strong, and then it was just like they're like, yeah, no, not this terrorist. Like they were giving the vibes, and then the next time we seen him again, it was hardly even any hand clapping or woo, it was hardly that for him. He knew what it was. Him looking the way he does, his name, and they don't see him as a true American. Now he tried to cater to them, but at the end of the day, they want their own. They're gonna want their own, a clean cut, racist,
Christian,
good old Christian, evangelical, good old boy, and can't have a vagina, has to be against everything, type of person representing them.
Yeah, I just shared a clip in our chat. This is a clip from at the beginning of the video that I did about this, but just watch the first minute. So this is Vivek's wife talking to a couple of Republicans in Iowa, asking them what they can do better or something to that effect. And then just watch.
I saw
her
your video
look.
on this, Mike, and it actually made me feel bad for her because I was like, she's been so patient, with people who are just sitting there like, I'm sorry, but terrorist. And you're like,
yeah,
no, but she's trying to explain it so calmly and collectively.
Genuinely, I felt horrible for her.
Yeah.
What do people say gives them I can't vote for him because what are the things that they tell you? What answers can I help you provide?
She's like, should I say this? Look at her face.
Or just see.
Well, the only one I've had, and I couldn't even remember who said that to me, but they mentioned it's dark skins, and they think.
Why in quotation marks?
Yeah.
What they believe I thought I was covering for it. I don't know, but
yeah.
And I tried to explain.
Fair, not much we can do about that one.
Well, yeah, so yeah.
Because dark skin is black. So dark skin is he was dark skin. He ain't white. He wasn't black. But he was dark skin. So yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. It's just that I feel like this shouldn't
leopards,
be
I tell you.
Right. I mean, they're too racist to vote for Vivek. And it's so sad that, he went out of his way to reinforce their white supremacy by talking about the Great Replacement conspiracy theory, thinking, man, they're gonna see me as one of them. I can show them my humanity if I convince them that I too agree with the white supremacist bullshit. And they're like, sorry, but we think you're Muslim and you're brown. It's just so sad. But that's
you're terrorist. You're related to the people that are responsible for 9/11. That's you. And he's not even close. See, this is how dumb that base is. No research, no nothing. And they just go off of skin color, the visual. And I mean, aside from that, he was not. Come on, to me, he wasn't qualified. I thought he was going to come with something, very much something, but he gave very much nothing. So other than that, though, that base would have never. They would have never chosen him. He was at the bottom with Nimrata.
Yeah, he was basically a proxy for Trump, who didn't want to participate in the debates. Right? He was the Trump surrogate, the Trump bootlicker. And as soon as Trump attacked him.
It's so weird seeing somebody like campaign against the person that they are expressing their love for so much. Like, Trump is the greatest president we've ever had, and I'm also running against him for some reason.
He wanted to be the Barack Obama for them. He wanted to be the young man of color for their side, and he was doing when he spoke, he wanted to speak with that fervor and that youngness, but then it was like the confidence. But baby, they wore him out in minute 2. And it was just his little hair, it was the sweat on his forehead. It was just like, give up now, baby, because they're about to drag you. And they did.
Yeah. Does he not look like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead?
He does. Jimmy Neutron. That's what I get.
And that too. Oh, right. You said that before. Yeah. That's better even. Yeah.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Oh, Matt Gaetz will forever be Butthead.
Oh.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz.
And a Whovillian from The Grinch. It's Whovillian, right? Did I say that right? From Whoville. You all know what I'm talking about. Cindy Lou Who's relative.
They're called Whovillians?
I'm not sure, but I know
that would make sense. I just didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Whovillians.
I could be wrong, which is why I kind of
Matt Gaetz looks just like him.
He looks like a combination of Cindy Lou Who, like a relative, a descendant, Butthead, and a pedophile. Excuse me, a PDF file.
God damn it! Now we're off YouTube for good.
God damn it. I tried, and I couldn't censor myself quick enough.
No,
a PDF file.
A pedophile. You could still call someone a pedophile on YouTube. You just can't use copyrighted content.
Yeah.
Well, disclaimer: I'm not saying he's a pedophile. I'm saying he looks like one, just for just for legal reasons.
Well, just in case, let's use PDF files.
Right.
PDF files.
Some people look like Word documents. Others look like PDF files.
Somebody said Peter file. That sounds. It's just like what. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there any good news that happened this week? Because I'm kind of a picking up. Maybe a cute dog story. Like, do we have anything, people?
There was a good story. I think the Emmys happened, and Quinta Brunson was one of
Lily Gladstone became the first Indigenous woman ever to win the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a major motion picture. That's huge. For Killers of the Flower Moon. It was a pretty incredible moment. She spoke in Blackfeet, which is the language of Blackfoot peoples. It was the first time it was ever on national television, which is also historic. So that was pretty incredible. And she looks like she may be poised to win the Oscar for best performance in by a woman in a motion picture. Even though I know that she is Two-Spirit, she goes by she, her, and they, them. But that's awesome. That's great. And I also think that award shows are just rich liberals giving each other gold. So I'm not here to talk about how great the Oscars are and how they're changing the world, but it is cool to see that, especially amongst the Indigenous community. Everyone was very happy.
I didn't know that she was Two-Spirit too. That's cool. So she's breaking some glass ceilings. Nice.
So with that, Quinta Brunson, who has the show Abbott Family. That's her show. Not Abbott Family, Abbott Elementary.
Abbott Elementary.
Quinta
Great show, by the way, really funny.
She took great show. It's coming back. Quinta Brunson, she took home an Emmy earlier this week for the Best Actress in Comedy series, right? And that made her the first Black actress to win the category since 1981, y'all. When the Jefferson star Isabel Sanford won it then. So, and she won for her performance, of course, in her sitcom. And that's the one that she actually created. And I love her history because maybe like a little bit over 10 years ago, she was doing Vine, and maybe it was Vine at the time. And she went viral on social media for doing the McDonald's where the man is ordering and he ordering a large with the fries, and she's on the side and she's just like, a large, like, okay.
That was her?
That was her.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's wild.
Yes.
Oh,
and so from that to where she is now, where she has her own show that she created on ABC. okay? Abbott Elementary. And it's good to see that she can come from here to where she is, from there to here now, and be a part of history since 1981, right? The first woman then who won that award from the Jeffersons. No other Black woman, and that's the Black woman, I would say, actress who won in 1981. Now she's the second, and she's the first since then. So it sucks that it took that long, and it sucks that there's only two, but she's making history. So just from her making that Vine video to where she is now with her own show and winning awards, it's a beautiful thing to see.
I didn't know she was a Vine. I think it was also at the Emmys. Ayo Edebiri, she also won, becoming the third, I believe, Black woman ever to win in her category for The Bear. Which I know is a divisive show. I'm not here to I watched The Bear. I know what it's all about. Don't worry.
I like The Bear. Why is it divisive?
Ayo is I don't know if you don't know who she is. She is killing it. I didn't know who she was like 5 years ago, and in the last 2 years, I've seen her in like so many good projects. She was in like a hilarious LGBTQ plus comedy, Bottoms. She was in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. She's crushing it. She's really good.
Oh. Why is The Bear divisive? Is there something that I'm missing from it? Because I watched it and I really liked it.
I don't think it's a bad show. I just think some people are obsessed with it to the point of like, to me, it's stress porn. It's just like, you want to watch a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I've worked in a restaurant, so I've worked as a dishwasher. I've worked at a lot of different. I know how stressful restaurant jobs are, but just watching that like for an hour or 30 minutes or an hour, however long it is, for like an entire season, and it's just like, it's nonstop stress porn. It's like, this is fucked up and stressful. This is fucked up and stressful. It's like, this is what it was like. This is what like working in a restaurant is like.
They capture it well. Yeah, and the acting is really great too.
So what do you guys think about these award shows not having hosts? I know the Emmys didn't have a host, I believe. And
because they tried, they couldn't find one apparently. And a lot of people were just like, nah, it's like now it's becoming like a death rattle. Because you either like, you have to go so hard that you get alienated.
I can host that shit.
Or...
They should hire me. I'll host that
you might
shit.
Clap hosting an award show. You just never know. Now,
it's just unnecessary. It's unnecessary. You don't need a host. Who cares? Who cares?
I'm down.
It's not necessary at all.
I feel like it gives
it's not
order,
necessary.
and I feel like it gives it order, and sometimes it get like if you get a.
That's what the voice. That's what the voice on the intercom, whatever the hell it's called. That's what that voice is for.
It takes away from
that's
me.
The order.
But the hosts have been so sucky that they haven't been able to I think that the hosts have been trash, so they haven't been able to find a good host that can bring order, laughter, some entertainment or something like that. They haven't been able to do it, so they've just been going hostless, and it just to me be looking.
It's just always so cringy. I'm just like, all right, I don't need to hear. Anyways, I mean, I don't watch these shows now anyway, so I don't care. But I just feel like the host was never really a driver for me. It was more like, I want to see if this person wins. Which, by the way, it's worth mentioning. On a downer note, Better Call Saul didn't win shit again. They set a record for the most nominations without winning an award, without winning an Emmy.
Show an award, okay? Same with The Wire, okay? You're a good company. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
The Wire was
a lot of great
at the very
shows
least,
never
though,
won a single one.
At the very least, The Wire was like completely ignored. It got like one nomination for writing once, but Better Call Saul got like 52 nominations over its lifetime. It's an amazing fucking show. I would almost say it's better than Breaking Bad.
Hey, watch it now.
What is the show?
You know what? I think it's better than Breaking Bad.
David,
same creator, same world. I think it's better than Breaking Bad. But it's amazing. It didn't.
No, what's the show called? What's the show name?
Better Call Saul.
Better Call
watch Breaking Bad first if you.
But you kind of need to watch Breaking Bad first to watch Better Call Saul.
I'm behind because I don't even know what it is.
It's good. It's both shows are really, really good.
Yeah.
So
has anyone...
Binder, are you going to volunteer? Because your chat right now is like Binder's going to ask for all the super chats in the middle of hosting the Oscar.
Hell yeah!
Let's hope at that point you're being paid properly.
I'd easily clear what $200 at national television, right?
I would imagine so. I'd send you $1.
I would love it. I think it's pretty funny. So
if the A's or the Ask, whatever would hire me, if they let me plug my Patreon or mention super chats, they wouldn't have to pay me. I would just they could do cost free for them.
Right, because they're gonna pay. They're gonna be like, just go ahead. We're gonna definitely give our money to Bender, and that's it.
Oh,
so.
I would kill it as host of one of those.
I know shows.
You would. I'd be so good.
I would do terrible.
So
I would
it's-
butcher
you know,
all
I
of the
feel like
names.
I feel like you have to try really hard actually to be bad at one of those shows. Like
No, that's not
there's
true.
So much.
I feel like
there's
people
so much
are
material
bad.
right there in that room.
No,
and people are
that's
so
the problem,
bad.
though. They'll go for I think what show was it where the guy was making jokes about Taylor Swift? I don't remember which one because I don't remember. That was like the award show before the Emmys.
Wasn't it Emmys? Wasn't that just recently?
It was just
That
recently.
happened?
There was
Yeah.
like 3
that
award
was
shows. back then.
what's his name?
But that's because it was a bad
Joy
joke,
Coy?
not because he went after Taylor Swift. You could easily.
Yeah, it's a stand-up
Did we just lose Rebecca?
Yeah, no, I'm here. Let me change my battery.
Okay. You can easily be
Joe Coy,
funny going after anyone in that room. You just have to. The important part though is being funny. What's that? What's the name of that comedian that completely bombed? His material sucked.
Joe Coy.
It
I have
wasn't
not
good.
seen this yet.
It wasn't good.
Yeah,
it was
no,
so
I
bad.
thankfully didn't watch
And
it
then he
because it
did-
sounded
and
embarrassing.
then- and then he
Yeah, that's what I heard
really
too.
put the nail in the coffin by throwing the writers under the bus and claiming and saying, "Oh, I didn't write that joke. Don't blame." It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, it was just bad.
Why do you have
His
to
del-
have people write jokes for you if you're a fucking comedian?
Well, to be fair, all
it's
these
hard
shows
for
they all
these
have
TV
writers.
shows. They have
Yeah.
writers. But I mean, also though, it's the delivery too. Like his delivery
Yeah.
is really it's not really that great, honestly. He has a really weird delivery style. It's just very awkward and not awkward in a like Mitch Hedberg kind of like funny way.
It's just not for him. Like I've watched his stand up and he has some good stand up. That's not his venue. Like he should not be hosting award shows. That's not his thing. Like it's just not his format.
I guess for each award show they have like a host that caters to it, whatever for the night, yada yada. But I feel like the last when there were hosts, they weren't doing right. So they were like, okay, we need to recalibrate, figure out this hosting thing again because people are just coming on here and embarrassing us, and it's not right. So we're gonna try to work that out. I feel like for different shows. Somebody talking about the Crunchyroll. I never heard about the Crunchyroll. I never heard about that. I don't even know what that is. But they said Meg Thee Stallion is going to be hosting that. Never seen Meg Thee Stallion as a host.
Wait, is that
Isn't
like
Crunchyroll the anime?
That's an,
It's anime, yeah.
It's
That's
like
the
an
anime.
anime Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is an anime thing. You're right. So okay, yeah.
Is there an
so
award
that's
show for
what
anime?
Meg
I
Thee
didn't know there was a-
Stallion, a female
What?
rapper, is
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to
I know Meg
be
Thee Stallion.
hosted. Yeah, Meg Thee Stallion, the Stallion.
Really?
She's gonna be hosting that. I don't know what that
She
would
might
look
be a
like.
big
I might
anime
have
fan.
to
I
watch
don't watch
it.
anime, but I think they want. I don't know, but she may be really good at it. I'm not sure.
She could be funny.
I would be
I'm
interested
watching
in
I'm
that.
watching Serial
If she-
Experiments Lane. That's what
If
I'm
she
watching.
rips into like the
those
weeds
very-
for
Anime.
3 hours, that would be hilarious.
On those niche award shows though, usually the hosts are just like fans, like celebrity fans of whatever that specific award show is about. They don't necessarily have to be funny.
Oh, people in all the chats are saying she's a
very
big fan of
specific.
anime. She's a massive weeb. I didn't know
God,
that.
I love
There you
her
go.
even
Oh,
more.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So there we go.
She's the voice of a generation. Love her.
Yeah. Oh, I listen. My knees are still good because she got me practicing. So we gotta give love to Meg Thee Stallion. So yeah, I think that would be good. I would watch it just for her. Like I'm not a diehard anime person. I know anime some, but I would watch it just to see how she would do. And yeah, I think
Don't lie about being don't have stolen valor for being an anime fan on the internet. I've tried it. You get buried,
Never. I would
okay?
never
'Cause
do it. It
I'm
ain't
not. I'm just. I don't know my shit, right? I'm always
get
like
it.
Hunter
And I tell
times
people.
Hunter X, and all these people are like, no, Lance, that's not what it's called. Hunter. Holy
Yeah.
fuck! Like they
Yeah,
get
I can't
mad.
do it. I
so
can't lie
It's
like
like
that.
100 times
I don't
Hunter is
front
Hunter.
anymore. Yeah,
Squad.
I know.
That's
I
the
don't.
thing.
I
I
don't
like
even.
football. Sitting
I don't
like
touch
I
that
like
shit.
football, and I'm sitting with the guy watching it, and he's asking me to name a play, and I'm like, I don't know that,
Oh.
so I'm not gonna sit here and play like I know this. I don't know anything that's happening on the screen right now. Like I really don't. So I can't play like that.
Oh yeah, when it comes to sport, it's so funny. So when I was like a teenager, I bought like a jersey because I thought it was cute, and I wore it to work when it was like we didn't have to wear uniforms. It was like Halloween, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna dress casually. And some dude's like, hey, do you see them? Their last play. Just start talking about sports. I'm like, I don't know what language you're speaking in. I'm just wearing this because I like it.
What was
I
the
don't
jersey?
know- I don't remember. It's just some.
But you
fucking-
don't remember? It was just cute.
It was a
just
football
cute.
jersey. I don't remember what one. It was probably like an Oregon one.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
you can
remember.
never wear sports things outside, and
I learned that the hard fucking
without
way.
knowing
Oh, yeah.
anything about what you're wearing.
No,
You
I
will
do
be
that.
engaged.
Yeah, and you don't get a
people will
pass because
ask.
you're gay. I was still straight back then when I did this, but
Of
like
course
you
not.
won't
There's
get a
so many
pass.
gay sports fans now. They're hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Can't
like
use that
God
excuse
You're
damn.
anymore.
like, I don't speak that language. I can't
Yeah,
stand you.
no.
That's funny.
Like, okay, you want to act like an expert? We'll talk about video games then on my turf, bitch, and then we'll see how well you do. Okay?
Yeah, that's true. Like, let's talk about something that I'm into. But that's like with the kids when we were talking about that, where how the kids had like all the Generation Z kids are wearing T-shirts with a whole bunch of bands on there from like the 90s, the 80s, early 2000s, and then you ask them who that is on their shirt, and they can't tell you. They're just wearing
That's
it
funny. Yeah.
because it's in fashion, but they can't tell you about it. So
Yeah.
Did
I
I
actually
was
think
being
that's kind of cute.
interviewed. I was being interviewed for a podcast, and it was a Gen Zer interviewing me, and they unironically started asking me what my favorite Limp Bizkit tracks were, and I thought it was a bit. I was like, "Oh yeah, Limp Bizkit. Well, my favorite song is got to be Mission Impossible 2 theme, lol." And I was just joking, and they're like, "Oh, that's not a really good song. I think what about Chocolate Starfish?" And they were totally serious. Like they unironically loved new metal, and he started going off about
Was it a
big
Limp
metal
Bizkit
and corn
podcast? You didn't realize you were on.
No, it was
Why did
politics.
that
It was a
come up?
politics podcast, and it took me such a long time.
Why did
to be
that
like,
come
oh, new
up?
metal is in. Like
That is
kids
so
love
funny.
new metal. I was like, I had no idea. I was like, I actually know a lot about new metal. Sure, y'all talk about corn
That's
for a while.
I
fucking
love
hilarious.
that.
I
See,
love
the
how
ones
Gen
that's doing
Z.
their research. I need you to do your research before you talk to me about any R&B, any neo soul, any of that. Because if you're gonna be like, oh my God, did you hear the new neo soul track by Callie? Did you hear the new neo soul track by Summer Walker, who I like, of course? Like, did you hear? Girl, that's not neo soul. They call that alternative R&B. Like, let's not do that, okay?
Neo soul. I've never even heard of. What the hell?
Yeah,
God.
neo soul is like Maxwell and that's neo soul.
Yeah.
That was back then, Erykah
okay.
Badu. But the kids is now trying to lump all the people who are just whispering on tracks with the people who were singing on tracks from back in the day. See, now I sound 45. Now I sound 45.
It's fine. Gen Z's humor, like when they make fun of millennials, is so hilarious, but it's accurate too. Where they'll be like, "Why do millennials just like randomly describe themselves as like quirky? Like, why do you do that?" And like, "Oh, I'm just so random. Like, why do millennials do this?" I'm like, "Wait a second. I do remember doing this like in my 20s. Like, oh, I'm just so random. Let me just do this." And it's
I'm
like
crazy.
But we are that.
You
though.
don't know.
But okay, so I was reading this actually yesterday. So yesterday I was walking into Kroger and the barbershop next door was playing a song by Cheryl from like, I don't know, Cheryl, it's like a Delta song. To be real, what you find love to be real, whatever song it is, but it's a throwback song. And so on campuses at HBCUs, the Greek organization stroll to that song, the girls. So I was like, dang, I said out loud, guys, damn, they jamming over there, ain't they? And I was like, oh my God, they're jamming, Rebecca? Like, please don't. On social media, somebody said, what is a word, the millennials, what is a word that you just keep saying and you haven't let go of? And I put that in there and everybody's like, yeah, I still say jamming. And some people say like off the chain or like, I don't know, like what is the word that you guys haven't let go of from, like, or a phrase that you guys haven't let go of from your past or your childhood?
I gotta think about this.
Like,
I feel like I'm sure
bomb.
there are many, but I don't actively think about my vocabulary that way, so it's hard for me to think what I've
That's
brought
the
over.
bomb. Or like, I'm like, oh my God.
I don't
Like,
use
I
that.
haven't said that since fifth grade.
I don't use the bomb, but I'm like that. I like.
I remember I'm old enough to remember my cousin first using that and him like telling my aunts about that being like a cool word. Like, that's
I was hate watching a Shane Dawson video, and he said the word "bling" in reference to a cup that he had. Like, oh, it's blinged. I'm like, what the fuck? Is this like 2001?
You see, there's
Like,
words that are.
excuse me?
We should give a shout out to Justin Timberlake for finally dropping faux shiz from his
I'm embarrassed.
vocabulary. You didn't know
my
about
God.
that? Yeah, so in Britney Spears' like biography, she was like, I always found it really cringe how Justin Timberlake pretended to like, speak in like, AAV all the time, and he would be like, oh, it's because I hang out with black people, but like, does he know what like faux shizzle my means, and like does he know about this?
Oh,
and,
he
like,
was
why
saying
say
that? Oh,
yeah. Well, he had cornrows.
Wait,
you don't
Britney
remember?
Spears said this in her book?
Yeah, Britney Spears put that in the book. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's pretty awesome. 'cause
Yeah.
I always find
It's good.
I always found that to be very cringe at the very least myself.
But remember, in those boy bands, they had to have somebody who gave that soul. Remember, we were talking about that. Where in Sync, yeah, Justin Timberlake. But I think the real person that they wanted to be black adjacent was JT. They wanted him. Remember, they had him on the remix with Black, where he said the thing about the thug appeal.
Oh,
And I'm
right.
like,
I remember that.
come on, JT.
That was not
I was
okay.
thinking that with my little heart, but now that I look back at it, I'm like, what thug appeal? And you as white as ever, my brother. I'm another, but I'm really not knowing why they did that to you. But he gave the most black adjacent. I know they tried to give Justin Timberlake the curly fro, and they did the braids and the bandana, which wasn't a problem back then for us. And I don't think it would be a problem now because we just rock to the music. But see, I just said we rock to the music. I need to be stopped. I need to be stopped right now.
Okay, I found.
You're younger than us, but you're like you're older than us at the same time.
Old soul. I found a really funny article from all places. Don't make fun of me. BuzzFeed with questions that Gen Zers have from millennials, and a lot of these are like super spot on. So I'm gonna bring this in.
Oh wow, I'm so curious, please.
Yeah. So okay. So why do millennials love telling people how much they hate the word moist? I know like 3 people.
I hate the word. I hate it.
I've definitely heard that before.
Yeah,
like,
I don't care.
To me, I've heard so many people say this. I don't say the word moist. Like,
it bothers me when you say it. I don't know why. It just bothers my spirit. I don't know.
It's the millennial in you. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit.
Why do millennials not zoom in on the window is what I want to know.
Okay. So this one, why do millennials get married or have a baby and be like, we did a thing? Like, yeah, you made a life-changing commitment. I've had like so many friends do this thing. We did a thing, and then it'll be like updated status. This is like a little bit further back when Facebook.
And then the big hair baby, a picture of the big hair baby. It's crazy.
I do find that embarrassing. I would not say that.
Yeah. And then this one, like I literally have this in like my Instagram. Like, why do millennials love writing social media bios like this? Dog mom, wine lover, Christ follower. Like mine is like an Animal Crossing enjoyer or some shit. Like
because you only have so many characters. That's why.
Back then, now you can write a whole paragraph. But
now people just use people use emotes now. Yeah. That's what
my emoji.
Gen Z figured it out. Yeah.
It's like the Haitian flag, the black. It's a black one. I changed it to the black character, but doing the yoga pose, and I think a yellow heart. That those are usually my 3 emojis, but I need to be stopped with that too because the God first, your favorite journal, like it's just like Rebecca, like just stop.
I love it. Like they've got the millennial stereotypes down. Like Gen Z is very observant. Like this one, why do millennials insist on saying doggo? Like I say this.
I never heard of that.
Do you really?
Doggo?
Yeah.
What is that? What's doggo?
If I see like a dog, I'm like, oh, this is a cute doggo. I want to pet it.
What?
Oh, doggo.
That's so cringe.
I never heard of doggo.
It's like a Midwestern white girl thing, honestly.
Yeah,
what are you doing saying it?
I mean, I also used to really like pumpkin spice lattes. So if the shoe fits, right?
You
definitely stop using doggo.
Midwest based on all these. This really feels like Midwest specific or something
No.
like that.
Yeah, I just thought it was like a cute name for dogs. But yeah,
a lot of Canadians say that. A lot of Canadians say doggo.
I never heard that.
Well, see, I'm Canadian at heart.
There you go.
So yeah.
When you
Okay,
immigrate,
this
it was
one.
said.
I don't relate to this one. Why do millennials post pictures and announce they might delete later?
Now I see that a lot because they might delete it later because it's probably too sexy, or they posted it up for just one eye to see, and once that person sees it, they'll delete it, or they're trying to act like it's a risky or risque thing. It's
okay.
It's something like
Snapchat
that.
of public posting because you want you want those you want some of the dopamine, just a taste of it for people to be like, whoa, you look hot. And all of a sudden,
At the same time,
because it fills with the creeps and all that.
At the same time, there's no need to announce that you might delete it later. Just post the picture and then delete it later.
That is
because we need attention, so we need people to be like,
FOMO.
It's attention.
I guess.
You're reading the room, is what you're.
Why do millennials use FOMO?
Why? Because we were making everything acronyms at one point. Everything needed to be that. Oh my God.
Why do
Human person?
millennials
I don't know
love
who
putting
does that.
I've not seen this personally.
I'm sure someone has. I'm sure I've seen it, but it's not a common thing.
Yeah. Why do millennials foam at the mouth over Betty White? I kind of feel like it's part of it. They admire her, but it's also like kind of just a meme. Like they do it because it's funny.
Yeah,
It's a nostalgia thing. Kids would be at home sick from home, and they'd watch Golden Girls with their grandma when they were home from school sick or something like that. Same thing with like Price is Right and Bob Barker. It's the cliche like, remember when you were sick during elementary school or high school, and you got to spend your day watching the daytime TV with like grandma or something like that.
I remember,
Are suckers.
Price is Right was a staple for sure.
Yeah.
I watched it with my grandma so many times. The last one on there is 100% true, and you all need to stop doing this. Fur babies. I hate that term so
It's
much.
for people who are not
It is so
parents.
stupid.
Like
What?
they'll do the fur babies thing, and I've seen.
Okay, you have a pet. It isn't a fur baby. It's your pet. It's not a fur baby.
So you know you have to make it cute for social media.
A pet is cute enough.
So
you don't got to invent words.
You can't just be like my
this
dog.
is terrible.
My dog.
Yeah, this is my dog. This is my dog.
You have to say my fur baby, and especially the
If you got to say fur baby, then I feel like you're forcing the cuteness. I feel like your dog isn't cute enough, so you got to call it a fur baby to make it cuter when it's really not that cute.
You know who I think who really does it the most, and it's the like the soft life, Lux, social media people. They'll do that. They'll do that. If I had a pet, I would call it a fur baby, but I don't like animals in my house like that. So, but if I did, I would call it a fur baby.
So David is going to hate this.
What this
but I
all
don't
really
use
is,
fur
though,
babies.
is like, this is all just like early internet speak.
Yeah, it really
It's
is.
like-
Yeah.
And
They're
millennials were just
different.
there.
We
for
know
that-
how
they
to
were like
shift with the times. I feel like so.
It's not even shifting.
Yeah.
We were a lot of millennials were of the age of the internet. Like they were the like.
That's
I
true.
guess like younger
the
Gen
beginning
X
of
and
it.
older
started it.
millennials. We were of the age where we were teens. And we were
What's an older
online during this
millennial?
early
How
time
old is an
period, and
older
this was like the
millennial, Matt?
lingo. Yeah.
Matt, how old is an older millennial?
How old is an older millennial? The millennial birth year starts at 81.
Okay, so because Ben calls himself I just need to know because I be messing with Ben all the time. He calls himself an older millennial, and
So
so
early 40s.
He's 10. Yeah, he's 10 years older than I am. 33, so he's 43. So look at me giving all his business.
He might be a very late Gen Xer.
So he says that he's on the cusp. So he's like, but he can relate to, I guess, both sides, right? Because he was, I don't know.
In some ways, maybe.
Yeah,
I feel like we have to claim Ben for millennial.
Yeah, and
Like, I want that representation. Ben is
he's worthy of the millennial label.
Yeah, he calls himself an older millennial.
Let's not give him the Gen X one because no one wants
Yeah,
that.
don't push him to Gen X. Matt will then be smearing Gen Xers, and that means Ben Dixon is part of that group. No, he's a millennial. David, so I don't use fur babies, but you're gonna hate this. So I do refer to my dogs, to my in-laws and my mom as their grand dogs, and
that one honestly, I don't hate as much as fur babies. I don't know what it is about fur baby. Fur baby just sounds stupid as hell.
And I'll straight up be like, when my dog is excited to see my mom and he's like jumping up on her, I'm like, Poopy, don't jump on your grandma. Like, just like it's so cringe when you think about it, but it's just so instinctive. Like it's funny.
As long as you're not saying it like completely seriously.
I mean, kinda.
I'm sure he's saying it seriously because that's his baby. That's his fur baby.
Yeah,
and that's
I mean, I would die for my fur babies, for lack of.
Would you
better
really?
word.
You would die for your pet?
Oh,
I'm not gonna die for my
straight up.
pet. Fuck
If
that
somebody
shit.
was like, okay, if somebody like
use your pet
shot,
as a human shield.
I would dive in
Well, I
front of
wouldn't
my-
do that, but I'm not gonna die for my pet. I'm not gonna like go drown to save my pet.
Now,
And who's
there's
the pet
people
gonna
who-
be
nah,
with?
Nah,
Would you risk
David,
it? Would
that's
you even roll
very-
the dice? You wouldn't roll
That's
the
a bit
dice? I
black
bet
of
you
you,
roll the
David,
dice.
because
Oh, I'd roll the dice,
these
but if I
people
find
are
I'm gonna
dying
die,
for
no.
dogs. And no offense, I know everybody loves their pets, but I know people who would die for a dog. Or I went out with a friend, and this was not funny at all, and I did not mean to laugh. She was crying, you guys. She was crying her eyes out, and she's like, "He died." And she was just crying. And I was like, oh my God, Steph, who is she talking about? Like, who died? Like, we need to go and be with her. Like, what's going on? Like, who died? And she was like, Bubbles. And I said, not her cat. Not talking about the damn cat.
Rebecca, no.
And
the internet's gonna.
You're wrong here. You're wrong.
I was
terrible of me. That was terrible of me.
devastated
You're
when
just
my
cold-hearted. I think you might be a serial killer. Honestly, that's the
at the
reverse.
time how people love their pets. 'Cause I didn't grow up with pets, and I'm just like, the cat died, y'all, and But now I know, and so it wasn't funny at the time. But I didn't do right. I didn't do right, y'all. I did not.
Bro,
No, you could definitely mourn your cat.
Yeah,
or
for sure.
Your dog,
The only time it stands out though, like there was a podcast I was listening to, and two people had like missed an episode, and one of them is because their pet died. The other one, like their like dad died, and they both mentioned why they were gone, and they both sounded equally sad. I'm like, this feels weird. It's perfectly fine to mourn your pet, perfectly fine, of course, but compared to someone's parent, it's a little, I don't know, it's not the same.
Animal cloners, you go too far. The animal cloners, you like at some point you like that's too ridiculous for me. People who spend like $100,000 to clone their pets to get new versions of their pets.
Oh my God, I heard about that.
Yeah, it's a big
heard
thing.
about
Yeah,
that.
that's like,
they'll get these dogs that are like the smallest dogs that like the little teacup dogs, right?
Oh yeah,
and they'll get this insurance on them because they are liable to die. Because first of all, they're not supposed to be like, these are like makeshift animals, but they'll like they'll get them and the dog will get stuck in the recliner. They will replace it. And like they'll get that insurance. Yeah, I read about this. Guys, I mean they're
stuck in the recliner.
That's dead. A dead baby dog. That's like the dog. Dead though. They're so small. Like you can put it in your hand, and so they're really fragile. They get sick fast. So that y'all. I'm done. Because I don't want the dog lovers to hate me. It's not. I'm just saying. I'm agreeing with Lance. I'm done.
No, that just
I am a dog lover. Don't worry.
That's of course. Of course, no matter how small your dog is, it doesn't mean you don't love it as much. But it's just that's just a funny phrase. Just the idea of like you lose your pet because they got stuck in the recliner.
Stuck in the recliner, and it died because somebody reclined and the dog was stuck in it.
Oh my God.
And so
my
what
mom's
they
dog.
did was immediately get another one. So they took the insurance out. There's an insurance that they put on the policy on there. So anytime the dog dies, it's almost like you can get another one.
That was one of the questions.
My mom's dog was a small like teacup Yorkie, and it went to jump from one couch to another couch, and it was like on the like, armrest of one couch. It jumped, didn't reach, hit the side of the other couch, and fell backwards so hard he smashed his head on the floor and was passed out and had a seizure. And we were like, oh my, dead? Like it was, I've never seen that happen with a large dog before, like, or even a normal sized dog before. Like they are usually very sturdy and can withstand just like, but he was fine. I mean, he's no longer alive now, but that's completely separate. He was never the same. He was never the same. He might have suffered some sort of brain damage or something. But he was alive for years later though. Let's put it that way. He lived for a couple more years.
That's wild.
God. I will say
his tongue never went back into his mouth fully after that.
That's so sad.
I'm done with everybody tonight.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord!
Hey, I'm only laughing because Bender's laughing, and Bender knew the dog. So
we took him to the vet.
Never went back in his mouth.
This dog was one of the most annoying dogs ever, but we loved him dearly.
And he lived for years after that, so that's good.
Yes, and he's been dead for a number of years too, so we can look back and laugh. You know, we can look back and laugh.
That was your dog, so we can laugh about it freely.
Or doggo.
You've had time to heal, but yeah, on the subject of like grieving over animals. So I would compare it to losing a parent closely, but differently, right? So like when my cat died, I was wrecked for like a week. Like it was so hard to get over. And then when my dad died, I don't think that I was as like distraught. I think there's probably more shock, but long term it affected me more. But like in terms of like sheer like grief, I feel like it was comparable. Not to minimize like my dad's life. Obviously, I love my dad, but I feel like for example, like if my dog were to die, like I need like 2 years to recuperate from that. Like take off from podcasting. Like I would be a mess. Like, yeah, they're my fur babies.
I when I was in college, I had a ferret that when he died, I was distraught. I know Rebecca was about to chew me a new one, but I was distraught.
I was
and
not.
also here.
Why am I
also,
not
Rebecca
surprised you
might
had
chew
a
me
ferret? I just feel like that's not surprising.
But listen, I am actually, despite what the chat now thinks, because I laughed at my mom's dog's issues. I've had 2 animals that required weekly vet visits for fluids because they were ill.
wow.
So weekly, and then at one point for the cat, because the cat was calm and was fine with it, we would buy the fluid, and I would have to give them the fluid, like basically give them a shot every single it was more than weekly at one point, like every other day, and give them fluid so they could live as long as they could, and because they had a good life other than having to sit there for the fluids. Other than that, and then when it got worse, we ended up putting the animals down. But I mean, just to get across that I am indeed an animal lover, but I can look back and laugh at things.
No, my sister just got a what is it? A parakeet, right? And
oh God.
I had to recently, she got it in, this is what she did. So a friend of hers had a parakeet, and about a year ago, she went on a trip when she was supposed to babysit or parakeet sit this bird. And she went on a trip that day that she got it. So it came to my house, and it was during COVID, like a year, no, maybe like 2 years ago for that bird. And I had to watch it, but it was a lonely time. So I was like, talking to the bird, feeding the bird, like putting my hand in the cage and letting it, and I would put it in my room so it can sleep with me, and I would cover the cage up if I felt like it was too cold, whatever. So I got this really cute, like we had a connection. And then I think like 2 weeks later, my sister came back and then gave the parakeet back to the owner, like she watched it. Just recently in December, they gifted her with the parakeet. That same day they gifted her, she went on a trip. Guess where that bird came? To my house. And so I was my sister was gone for like a month. I was the only one that this parakeet knew as a mother. Okay. So I I got real close to the bird, and then I had to go and give it up. Like it had its bedtime, and I would pet its stomach, and I would make sure I cleaned the cage out. And I don't even but I was cleaning the cage out, making sure fresh water. Sometimes when he didn't eat, I would be like, talking to him. I would sing with him, and we would just be jamming, and we would just be, all the good stuff. And then when I brought the bird back to my sister's house, I missed it. Like I missed the bird. So I was telling her, like I would call her and be like, let me see the bird. I don't want to talk to you. Let me see the bird and stuff like that. So, it's not that, maybe a bird I would like, but like
I'm trying to square this, Rebecca, with when we just met 5 minutes ago. Rebecca, that was like, oh, your cat died? Get over it, crybaby. And she's over there singing with the birds.
Like a
She's in Central Park like the bird lady from Home Alone 2. Birds all over her body. She's like, get over your cat, bitch. Stop crying over your cat, bitch.
You guys, on the balcony. Look, I have in animals. I have a bird feeder, a hummingbird feeder on the balcony, and the hummingbirds come and have a field day. The other day, a whole bunch of sparrows. They keep flying in through my my blinds that I have, or whatever curtains that I have on the balcony. They'll fly through and just chill, on the balcony. And so birds love me. But other than that, animals.
Maybe that's why you hate cats so much, because cats, don't they eat birds? Or like
that's true.
There you go. Yeah, you're team bird. That's all it is. You don't hate animals, you're team bird. That's
I just can't get over this visual of you walking around with birds all over your body, and you see someone like kissing their dog, and you're like, loser.
Because I would do that. What a loser. Meanwhile, birds on the shoulder. I'm petting birds. Terrible. I do not want to become the bird lady, by the way. I'm not going to become that. But I do like the look of in the springtime and the summertime, all of the hummingbirds come and chill. And when I go hiking at the mountain over here, I'll go hiking, and I'll be, oh my God, I'll be bird watching. And like the birds will be, I remember I was walking and I'm like, not these birds like being in front of me, 2 robins or cardinals, they were fighting each other. And I'm like, y'all not scared of me? They were just literally fighting each other, right? Like I was walking and they were walking with me, fighting each other. And I had to break up the fight.
Rebecca, let's put it this. This is the real question to see just how much of a bird person you are. It's a baby bird. Fell out of the nest. It's fine though. It's on the floor. Mama bird nowhere to be found. Baby bird needs to eat. Would you chew the food and regurgitate it?
Hell no. Baby bird gotta die.
Like Ace
Baby
Ventura.
bird gotta die at that point. Baby bird is going to be somebody's
didn't
bird at that
flinch.
point. Absolutely not. I'm not regurgitating nothing. I'll go to the store. I'll Google and see if I can find something. I'll go buy worms or something and like throw it at the baby bird, but I won't.
You know what it is? I think because if you have no relationship with it, then it's not the same, right? Like if you just find a baby bird, it's sad, but it doesn't affect you as if like you took care of it, like the parakeet. Like for me, like I hate spiders and like insects creep me out, but I had a pet tarantula and was devastated when she died. I bawled my eyes out. It just depends. Like if you, I had a scorpion, a tarantula. Cool. Yeah. They're really cool, actually.
Was the scorpion de-venomed or?
I don't know. It was like you can turn off the lights and turn on a black light and it would like glow. It was really, really cool. Really cool. I like kind of like creepy crawlies, but I mean, it's not like, not cuddly like my dog. Like I'm not going to snuggle the tarantula. You know what I mean? I held it like once, but it's still like when you kind of like take care of something, I don't know. Maybe it's that like that,
you're right.
Paternal instinct, but kind of.
That's true. Yeah. You become a mom, like a fur. So it can be a fur baby, David.
Anything can be. Yeah.
No, it can in practice. Just don't call it that. That's all.
No, it's
a weird. It's a weird name. It's just a weird name.
We have fish, and like I don't like cry over the fish when they die because fish die pretty frequently. Although the fish we have now have been alive for a couple of years now, but when a fish dies, I do feel lost. Like I do feel down in the dumps that day. I feel like I don't get that one. There was the life in my hands and I failed it. Even if it's not my fault, obviously. But I feel like something depended on me, and I couldn't help it any more than I was able to. That's how you feel.
No, that's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. And fish. Okay, so when I used to work in the studio, we used to work in the studio back in 2017. We got a fish because it was alone. We used to get real miserable in the office, Ben and I. So the owners had got a fish and they never took care of it. And Ben was like, I ain't taking care of that fish. It ended up being our best friend. And then the snow day came and we didn't go back to the office for like almost a month because it was like a really bad like snowstorm. And then finally we go back to the office and baby, that bird, we was like, the bird is dead. And we were so sad. So we went to go flush it down the toilet. There's a video. I have a video of this.
You mean that fish was dead? You said bird because I don't think you're flushing a bird down a toilet.
Fish. We went to go flush it down.
Although I don't know, we've discovered a new code, Rebecca, today. Maybe she's flushing doves down toilets.
No birds down the toilet. But we went to go flush the fish down the toilet, and then it was alive. And then we had to go back and scoop it up. Like, oh my God, no, the fish is alive! And we had to scoop it up, get the toilet water out of it, and then put it back.
It sounds like,
oh my God!
Sounds like it was a religious experience. You met the Jesus Christ.
We done that Lazarus, baby, Lazarus, honey. We laid hands and came back to life. It was
Lazarus.
Lazarus, yes,
Lazarus.
I think that fish went to fish heaven at this point, but I'm just not. I'm not sure.
All good fish do.
Maybe all of our animals are playing with each other in heaven right now. My tarantula is playing with the fish and the bird.
Yeah, Noah's Ark style, not eating each other. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect harmony.
The Rainbow Bridge, they call it, right? That's the.
Wait, do you have an animal, David? You say you have a dog.
Growing up, I had 2 different dogs. I don't have an animal right now.
Okay.
I have a child. It's too much. I can't have. If I had a pet, me and my wife we're just not. We're not high energy people. So if we had like
two
kids, a child
kids,
and a pet is too much.
5 fish, 2 kids, 5 fish, a dog, and a cat, buddy. Get with it. Get some pets.
Tinder is high energy.
You're high energy. I'm not. I don't have it.
Yeah,
you're up to like 3 a.m. doing live streams. I'm not you.
Yeah.
He is high energy. You know it. Definitely. That's when he comes alive at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
That's when he comes alive. But I'm a plant mom, so I have that. I had a plant recently pass away. That hurt me. But I bought that plant when I was dating some guy like a year ago. That guy's gone. So I'm like, yeah, you got to go too.
You kept
But I am a plant mom. I have like about 8 plants and I take really great care of them. So yeah, I'm a proud plant parent. How about that? Okay.
That works.
Yeah. Okay.
That works.
Yeah.
I'm the worst plant parent. I can't tell you. I'm like a serial killer plant or serial plant killer, whatever you want. I'll get them like, I need a plant. We need some plants in here, and then they just
you need an independent plant.
It's not
One
enough.
that you have to water weekly or maybe like bi-weekly.
Yeah, get a snake plant. You never have to take care of them.
Yeah,
they
take
snake
care
plant.
of them.
I had like a bonsai
plant.
plant which you don't water at all, and that's fine. Like that
And
lives.
and that's a good. See, the ones that are independent plants. I have some that are a little needy, but I do have independent plants in my bedroom. So when I leave out of town or something like that, they're good to go. Like I don't have to worry about coming home and then they dead. So yeah. What a conversation.
What a show. What a
It's
show.
the end of the
all
show.
over.
Oh my God, it's
I love it.
10:30.
We made it, baby. We made
I
it.
love it. What a show.
Fantastic.
Super chats.
That's right.
All right.
I gotta say, last week.
Time for the second half of the show.
No,
Yeah,
Binder.
for all
Last week,
y'all.
look, Binder. I love you, Binder. But last week it was amazing because the show was 2 hours and that's it. We were done. It was like,
Oh yeah.
no, there were super chats, but we rolled through them. There weren't as many, obviously, because you're not here to get all the super chats. But we were done at like 11. It was the greatest day of my life. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Rebecca, are we doing business or
What do I
you
do
doing super
differently?
chats
What do
too?
I do differently?
You weren't here.
You get
What do
more,
I-
and
what-
you get more, and I think we just talk a lot more because it's 3 of us, so it just goes longer.
Y'all know I be out because I get about 2 super chats and it's all right, but I be out after that.
I'll be rolling through mine. I got like 5, so I could just like bing, bing, bing.
Mhm.
See, you get the look at this. We have 41.
And
They're all
match.
benders.
They're all benders.
Y'all need to spread the
No,
love.
not all benders.
okay?
I'm sure Mike has a bunch too.
My stream wasn't that great today either because of that copyright thing. I lost like 200 viewers.
Maybe they're all Mike's then.
Look, my 5 viewers turned into 2. I'm just kidding. I see all 74 y'all on here right now. But
Here,
yeah.
We could do yours, Rebecca, quickly if you have
Okay,
just a few of them.
I'll
there you go.
say love you all. I'm gonna peace out. I haven't monetized Mind
See ya.
Explosions yet, but thanks for watching and giving
Monetize it. We gotta get him monetized.
You've got to be
Love you,
close,
mean
right?
it.
I'm close. I'm like 100 hours away from 4,000. So
Okay,
Okay.
It was a
Bye,
pleasure
friends.
being
Bye,
back
family.
with you guys and seeing you
Bye,
again this week,
Lance.
Lance. Take care.
Yeah. Take care, Lance.
See ya.
All right, so Bay Photo, thank you so much for your super chat. Says I'm with you on the booze. I'll still have a drink now and then. I've cut back significantly, night and day at difference. Better mood, more energy, no stomach aches. Keep it up, Rebecca. Yeah, I'm trying, honey, because I'm trying to make sure I'm snatched when it comes time to spring, because I'm gonna be naked, spring and summer for sure. All right.
Trying to find the next one here. I got lots of scrolling through all of Binder's and Mike's.
Mm-hmm. They don't love me. Y'all don't love me.
If you guys could find her next one, Jesus Christ, how far did I
I
go
think I
scroll
can
here?
find it on, because if it's on the old streams, I'm not gonna see that. But I do.
Mike,
see
you're
the-
gonna have to
here.
take over
I found one.
the super
Okay.
chats too, because I don't have them all here because I had to reset my stream. Like I had to refresh
okay.
when I was lagging.
Okay.
Adar or Ader, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but thank you so much for your super chat. Congratulations, Rebecca, on growing your channel enough to attract trolls. Oh, there's trolls in the chat. But now you need some mods. I do. So the mod that's usually there hasn't been there. But Tony says they want to be a mod. When I figure it out again, I got you. Promise, mean it. And Andrew, thank you so much for your super chat. Money for Becca's new bird feeder. I do need one because that one is starting to fade and it's looking a little raggedy on the balcony. So yes. And so Ren, thank you so much for your super chat. Becca is right. Spread the love. That's right. Spread the love.
Yes.
Okay. We need them on all of our channels. Okay. Because we're here working with y'all. Help us and support us each channel. All right, y'all. I know that Bender has all the people on his channel. Y'all need to come over and subscribe to mine as well. I seen them numbers. Like I said, all of y'all too. I'll be on y'all pages. I'll be like, oh, look at their numbers. Yeah, come over there and subscribe to Rebecca's channel. Okay.
Yes, do it.
Please do. All right, y'all. I'm out. Y'all know I gotta work in the morning. Love y'all. Mean it. And I will see y'all next Thursday, Saturday morning. Make sure you guys
See
tune
ya.
in for Like It or Not. I'll see you guys.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Rebecca.
Always
Whoa,
weird.
too close.
Going to that.
I hate that it does that.
I
Actually,
really
I'm
only
coughing
got
up
like
a storm.
6, so
I
I'm
need
just gonna. I'm gonna roll. I
need
would
to
love
get
to
a
stay here
drink. I'll be right
forever.
back.
I'd love to stay here forever, but I got 6, so it's like I'm just gonna roll through mine if that's okay.
That works. Yeah.
The first 2 are my favorite actually. Let me find them. From Fart Gas, Poopy Fart.
Okay, I love that.
That's the first one I
God
have.
bless you, fart gas. Poopy fart.
Not quite sure what this is all about. Let me scroll down. For some reason, the next. Oh wait, did I already scroll by it? I will find it. Did I do? Yeah. Oh, Poopy Fart. Poopy Butt is the other one. There we go. Poopy
Love
Butt.
that too. Wow. Nice.
Don't really know what's going on here.
Shout out to Fart
the next
Gas.
one. Yeah, shout out to Fart Gas. Thank you, Fart Gas. Still alive with my favorite kind of super chat, a video game super chat. To the gamers here, did you see that article where Ubisoft says for everyone to get used to not owning video games, saying the quiet part out loud? I did see that, and to me, this is just. I'm almost glad they said it out loud because it's what they've all been fighting for. So it's what all these publishers have been wanting for so long because the return they make, of course, is so much greater on digital content because there is no physical product to produce. So that's ultimately where they want to get to.
This came straight down from Klaus Schwab of the WEF. You will eat the bugs. You will not own anything. You will not own any video games. This came straight from them.
Who's Klaus Schwab?
The guy who runs the World Economic Forum that right wingers have crazy conspiracies about. You will not own anything. Damn, that joke fell on deaf ears. Wrong audience. Wrong audience. I thought you guys were cultured. My bad.
No, not at all. Not at all. Art from Hell. I'm just doing Mindbender since I have like 5, and then I'm going to leave. Art from Hell, thank you for your 20 euros. See, I'm cultured. I got European viewers here. Look at that. That was like CEOs trying to do IT. I wish I knew what this is in reference to, but it was during one of our conversations, clearly, at 9:18 p.m. I don't remember, but thank you. Thank you, Art from Hell. I appreciate it. Andrew S. I wish they would just mark our names on each chat so we would know. It would make this so much easier. No, wrong one. This one. I cannot be a bird person. Too much maintenance for me. I mean, I would say birds are probably one of the easier pets to own. I'm sure there's a lot of maintenance, but compared to the amount of work needed for like a dog.
But they're loud, and also if you have a cat, you just can't have a bird unless you have like a lot of like precautions. Have them in a different room or something. Because my cat would like to eat that bird.
Oh yeah,
that makes sense. I gotta say, I wasn't much of a bird person too. They're loud and they are a lot of work. But
yeah, I'm not a fan of birds.
After my CES trip, I had to go to Austin, Texas for a wedding. This is the most traveling this past week I've ever done in my life. I've never done back-to-back places like that before, but I did it. And while we were my family was with me in Austin, we went to like one of those like safaris they have in Texas, and there they have they had like a bird aviary or whatever that you walk into, and they hang a little bird feeder, and the birds just come and land on you and eat off of your.
That's pretty cool.
It was actually awesome, and I want a bird now. I want to add a bird to my collection.
To the jungle you have in your house already.
Right.
Oh God,
although
I
don't think you can actually get a bird and have a cat as well, especially if you want that bird to fly around. It's not like a dog where you can train them. Cats instinctually will go after a bird. I don't think you can train that out of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Koru, thank you. Just for you, David. I appreciate that. member for 53 months. God damn that.
Wow.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
I need to get some new sound drops. I say that every week and I never do.
How long is 53 months? How many years is that? Is that 5 years? No, that's a little bit less.
That's
4.5 years?
No.
It's probably since I had membership.
No, I was.
Years?
Yeah, I was thinking like, wait.
It's probably since I launched. It's probably since I had access to start membership. That's great. You're probably the longest member.
4
That is
years
amazing.
is 4 years is 48 months. So it's more than 4 years, but it's not quite
Yeah.
5 years.
How did I get 2? I'm trying to go back in my brain and think, how did I get 2 months out of that?
2 years? Oh no, that would be yeah.
Or 2 years? Yeah, I don't know how I got that.
Maybe you are a bird, Mike. Maybe you got that bird brain.
Brian B.
It's possible.
Thank you for your super chat. Says David, get a pothos plant. They're easy to take care of and look great. Thanks for all the awesome work you do. Let me see what these things look like. Pothos. Oh, I've seen these are like a house plant. Like when I think of a house plant, this is what I think of. If you look up pothos plant, yes, well, if they're that easy, then I mean, our place is completely barren. Like it's bad. We probably need some plants or something in
You
here
don't have
for
any
sure.
fake plants?
No, we don't got shit. We've had plants
really?
that die, but we don't. So it's just like we just stopped buying them because it's just
Gotta get some
didn't
nice
work
fake
out.
ones.
Yeah. But then don't they feel you have fake plants? You don't,
Yeah.
I guess right there. You don't, do they still work the same? Or do you like feel like, do you walk into your room and just think, look at this fake ass shit? Like, I would feel like I would just see fake plant and it just wouldn't do anything. It'd be like, that's just a piece of furniture.
Did you know they were fake plants sitting behind Mike? Did you know they were fake, David? Did you?
I didn't
that
even
looking
notice
at
them at
they were
all, to be
fake?
completely honest with you, until I asked him the question and I saw him look behind him.
If you get really cheap ones, then they're gonna look shitty. You kind of get what you
But
get
I
for
wouldn't
them.
know. Yeah, I
You
could
can get
figure.
some
I mean,
nice ones.
obviously from here, from a small little window, they look real to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Jay
one of the
Cass.
things Mike probably notices when he uses his poison ivy powers, the fake ones don't do anything.
Yeah,
that's just yeah.
Yeah, you do have to do a spell to keep them alive. Like you don't water
Oh,
them,
wow.
but they're fake. So
That's
you
not
do
too
it-
bad. At least you don't have to
do a
water
spell
them.
every once in a while.
That's
yeah.
harder.
Yeah.
Jay Cass, $2 super chat. Thank you. Says token money for Tekken Tag. Have fun. The new Tekken demo is pretty good. I wish I wasn't shitty at fighting games because I'd be playing them all. But the
what's
Tekken 8
token
demo is
money?
really good. I'm not sure exactly, but I know there's like if you play the demo, there's the whole single player, at least an element of it. There's you play as like a person at an arcade playing Tekken. It's really interesting how they set up the arcade. So maybe there's token money in that, but it seems pretty cool. All right, I'm good. See you all, lovely people, next week. Have a
Take
great
care,
night.
David.
Take care,
Goodbye.
David.
Great
Have a
seeing
great
you
night.
again. Bye.
All right, folks, strap in. You ready for another 2 hours?
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, let me quickly thank the Surfs TV for rating me over on Twitch. Thank you so much, Surfs viewers. Here on
love the
Leftist
Surfs.
Mafia, we do a little stream where we do. No, you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, let's watch. If you don't follow me on Twitch though, you should hit the follow button while you're there, right?
All right. So this one is for me from Bren R. I don't see a message on both sides, but thank you so much. I do appreciate that. We've got this one for you.
Oh, Wanda with a super chat. Great job on Novara Media. Wish they could be guests, but the time difference doesn't work for them on our side of the pond. Yeah, I made my Novara Media debut this week. They had me on to talk about the Iowa caucus. It was a good time, great time. Great people over there. They do really good work over in the UK. Yeah, would love to do more with them. Excuse me. Jeez, I'd love to do more with them.
Nice. Another one for you.
Tokyo Hans. Last Monday was Ben Shapiro's 40th birthday. I celebrated by taking a huge Ben. Reminder, Ben means poo in Japanese. Wow, I didn't know that.
I'm going to say that. This one
Poo
is
Shapiro.
For me, from American Wasp with Dieter McBusiness. Hottest female conservative commentator. Tommy Loren? For me, I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the female conservative commentators, and Tommy Loren is like the only one that comes into mind. So I guess Candace Owens is also really pretty. I'd say Candace Owens probably over Tommy, because I feel I was gonna say because I feel like Tommy is nastier, but really Candace Owens has gotten like way more fascistic over the years. So I'm kind of like linking the inside with the outside in terms of like how it makes them look. I don't know. They're both fine. I'm not necessarily the best judge.
There are quite a number of good-looking conservative commentators, but they're not hot because their opinions are a complete turnoff and are make them quite ugly.
That's the thing. It's like if you're ugly on the inside, then I feel like you're gonna kind of see that ugliness on the outside too, in my opinion. So yeah, if they were nice, then they'd be better. Another one for me from Dieter McBusiness. Thank you, Dieter. Voter turnout is everything. How do we get it up? Will you take Blue Chew from our sponsor for Leftist Mafia? Use coupon code LETNOW. I see that ad all the time. This isn't necessarily something that we are able to do, or you. This is something that Democrats really need to do. I guess in theory you could do it as well if you organize enough, but this kind of needs to be something with the amount of time we have that has to be done at the national level. So Democrats need to do it. And that is really, in theory, an easy question. You've just got to register lots of people, talk to a lot of people. But Democrats are going to have a hard time recruiting young activists who actually get out and door knock and canvass. So they need to start now.
Right. I didn't get to make this point earlier on the show because we just moved on. And I made this point on my stream, though. Usually the argument from the vote blue, no matter who, normie Dems, the resistance libs, is that like, oh, young people, progressives, leftists need to just get over whatever their problems are with the president or the administration when it comes time to vote. Because what they want is not something the president could just snap his fingers and do. Whatever policy they're angry or upset about not being enacted, he needs help from Congress. Now, whether that's fully true or not, there's often a little bit of truth to that. The president can't just enact a full policy like Medicare for all or something like that on his own. But this time around, the number one issue that's hurting the president, the Democratic president, is something that he has complete 100% control over.
That's true.
The United States of America's policy on Israel and its support for what's going on in Gaza is fully controlled by the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States. And so it is fully on him what happens in November. This is not an issue where people, you could say people pouted and stomped their feet because they didn't get their way. And I don't agree with that, when you make it previously. But there is that, without the dramatics and knocking people who are hurting, there is that element of truth that what they would like is not completely attainable by the president alone. That's not the case this year.
Right.
This is 100% on him, and he can decide to change the whole thing in terms of what's the United States' implicit support for what's going on, what is happening to the Palestinians in Gaza, and also how he's doing right now in the general election. So it's really up to Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Yeah. So this one is another one from me from Joshua Jenkins, though, here. $10. Thank you so much, Joshua. Can we try to achieve victory in this country without the use of violence on both sides? I think it depends on what you mean by victory. Like, we can have small victories. We can have bigger victories, like FDR type victories. But I mean, if your idea of victory is like communist revolution, that's not going to happen without violence. So I think that a lot of us are not revolutionaries. we do what we can, and we exercise our, right to vote to the extent that we can. We advocate for candidates, but I mean, you can have victories without violence. But like, I think that for this oppressive system, like to completely dismantle late stage capitalism, um, you're not going to do that by voting, unfortunately. So it just kind of depends on like what your goal set is, really. So let's see here. I believe this one is you.
Jay Cash with a super chat. Binder was truly unimpressed because there's no cyber conversion van to exist yet, and also not enough people with open toe shoes at the convention. Talking about CES. Well, first of all, I hate anyone who wears slippers or sandals or anything like that in public, especially if you're a male. Men's feet are not meant to be shown in the open. Men's feet are usually gross. Feet in general, actually, I'm not a fan of. Feet are definitely not, but men's feet particularly. I am not a sandal or slippers guy. You'll never catch me wearing those. Crocs, forget it. I wear sneakers. That's what I wear. Preferably Vans. Once upon a time, Converse. Sometimes Creepers if I'm feeling fancy. But for the first one, the funny thing is, Kia actually, I'm not a car tech person. I think it doesn't interest me. But Kia actually unveiled their vision of their car for the future, which actually looks a lot like those old school VW Vanagons, like the 70s. Like,
I think I saw one of these. Yeah.
And the whole point of it, though, is that everything inside is swappable. Like you could turn the car into a pickup truck, or then if you need to try for work, like you turn into a pickup truck for work. If you need to now take the kids somewhere, you swap out the pickup truck plug-in from the back, and you put in the van piece, and you put in the seats. It was really cool looking. And if that's what they do, if both the design and like the swappable stuff is on the way at some point, I'll actually be really excited for cars for the first time ever. Because I think modern cars are lame and ugly, honestly. I agree. I hate the design of them. I just hate how they look. I like how cars looked in like the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Oh, see, I think that they were worse then.
What?
I hate old cars. Yeah, I hate old cars. I think they look terrible. I don't like all the curves. I want something that is
they were like boxy and stuff back in the day. I like that.
Well, I'm thinking of like the fucking the classics, like the old muscle cars where they have like, I don't know. I just like you. I'm not interested in cars really. I don't care. I like the ones that will one day have self-driving. That's when my interest will go up in cars. But Elon kind of ruined that for all of us by releasing a completely half-baked idea. But that's when I'll start to really care about cars, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't really, never been a car person.
Someone needs to pump out a brand new car model that just looks like the old Ford Model T. I want a jalopy. I want a fucking modern day jalopy. Okay. I want like a horn and the big skinny wheels and the box car with like there are no windows. It's just like open air from the sides, and it looks like something that like your great grandpa was driving. That's what I want.
Okay, this one is for me from RexTrek. $10. Thank you, RexTrek. I'd love third-party progressives, but as a boomer with statistically 20 years left on this rock, I'm voting Biden. I don't want to spend my last decades in a Republican dystopian Nazi racist hellscape. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you, right? I mean, if you watch Ole's video, she said all of this just so perfectly. You're picking your adversary when it comes to the presidential races, right? You're like, there's never going to be a situation where it's like, oh, I'm so enthusiastic to vote for this person. Or if you are enthusiastic, you'll soon find out that they are lying and they'll turn out to be terrible. So like you're never going to get anything better than the lesser of two really bad evils. So you do what you can to stop fascists from winning. So I really don't blame you. I think this one is for you.
Tokyo Hans, 1,000 yen. God, I got to assume that that's like translates to. I think I make this joke every time. 5,000 US dollars. Been looking for new work. Got scouted by a Tesla taxi company. The company launches in April. The pay is good. Have no clue how they found me and if they know my social media consumption. Opinions? I mean, if they're paying you a shit ton,
Yeah.
take it. Make some money, and then while you're there, be on the lookout for even greener pastures and go there. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
just a single individual not taking a job at that company is not going to make any difference. So you might as well,
Right.
like, they're not going to fail because you're not there, and make the world a better place because because they failed. So I would say abstract as much money from them as possible working there, and move on when you're done.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely agree. It doesn't mean you're like a fanboy of Elon. We all hate the people we work for. So
I don't think
yeah.
this has anything to do with Elon specifically. It sounds like it's a taxi company that's just using all Teslas or something like that. That's how I'm reading.
Oh, I see. I see.
Elon's
Okay,
not
this
starting a
one-
taxi company.
Well, yeah, that's true. I wasn't sure if it was like you don't want to be associated with Tesla or something like that, just because you see the bumper stickers. At least I've seen them online of, "Hey, don't blame me. I didn't know Elon was an idiot when I bought this," or something like that.
Right. Well,
Which I think
he's
is a
not giving
funny trend.
Right. He's not giving money to Elon and buying a Tesla. He's working for a
Right.
company that's gonna buy Teslas for their taxi service, whether he's there or not.
Exactly. Yeah. So Wanda, thank you so much for the $10. Appreciate that. Mike, I watched your video on young voters, and I get the Ingrid Biden, but what about Representative Rashida Tlaib, Omar, Cory Bush, who are all up for re-election? Will Gen Z and Gen Y let them fall by staying home? I really, really hope not. I hope that this doesn't affect their electoral chances. But what we tend to see is that like the enthusiasm for the president also kind of has like this ripple effect, right? To where if there's high enthusiasm for the top of the ticket, the down ticket Democrats are going to benefit. But if there's low enthusiasm and turnout is low. So I hope, I really, really hope that people, if they're not going to vote for Biden, at least turn up for like these progressives.
I mean, obviously that is a factor, and it's gonna happen somewhat, but I also don't think it's gonna be as extreme because we're seeing it even like special elections where nobody usually turns out. Democrats are winning those elections.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Biden is the weak link here. I think I foresee people actually getting out to vote against Trump by voting down ticket and just maybe not voting for the presidential election at all as a fuck you to Trump, obviously, and to Biden. Obviously it is a general election, so you're going to get a lot of people. You have a lot of people involved. Hundreds of millions. So, of course, there will be some people who will decide not to go vote at all because of Biden dragging down the Dem ticket. But I don't think it's going to be as much as usual because I think people are still going to go out to vote against Republicans due to like Roe v. Wade. Yes, I know that obviously whoever president is a big deal. But for the average voter, I think they're going to view it as I'll vote Democrat down ticket.
This one is from me, actually, from Tokyo Hans, 500 yen. Thank you. I wish you best on your health journey. Thank you so much. It would be beautiful for you to join the live LM show in Tokyo. I would love to go to Tokyo. That is further down in the pipeline because that is a like 12, maybe 16-hour flight. I think it's like 16 hours or something. But I would love to visit Tokyo. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Hold on, let me just add a little addendum there because some people are like, no one's gonna go out to vote and vote down ticket and skip the president.
I'll be right back while you do that so I can get some more water.
I'm talking about in places where it matters. Like, you don't think Arab voters in Michigan are gonna go and vote for like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and Minnesota, I should say too, obviously, because I mentioned a number of candidates there. I think you're going to get voters in specific swing states going out to vote as they would regardless, and as a statement to Biden specifically over Israel-Palestine, they're going to abstain. I don't think it's going to be some huge numbers, but it's going to be enough in important areas, in important swing states that could make the difference. All right, let's. Oh boy, I can't see all the. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Oh boy, I can't find where we are. Oh, I found it. Who's this? Oh, it's from Mike. Oh, all right. Let me see if someone. Let me read one of mine. What? I can't find. All right, you're back. Thank God. Okay, continue.
I'm back. Okay.
Right. I couldn't find the next post.
Oh, okay. Dieter McBusiness. Again, this is the third super chat. Thank you so much. You are so kind. Mike, meditation is my daily mental health fitness. Weekly therapy is very helpful. Even just a 5-minute meditation will help with focus, depression. I had not considered that yet. I used to meditate, and it did help me with calmness. I might have to give that a try. I'm not necessarily as anxious overall. I think I kind of am getting better in that sense. It's just like certain situations where the claustrophobia and panic kicks in. If I'm in like really chaotic situations where there's a lot of people, if I'm like driving for a long time, things like that. But I'll give that another try. Let's see here. So the next is...
Man, having David to go through his really messes up the I can never tell which are his.
Yeah, I'm trying to go by memory here. Okay, so I think that this one is you.
This is me, but there's one missing, which is weird.
Oh, which one's missing?
Wanda sent me a. This might have been sent when my feed was blocked. Interesting.
Oh, no, I think I just accidentally scrolled past it. Is it this one?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, I think I just missed it.
Wanda with a super chat. Glad you are back on Leftist Mafia this week. Now we can get back to those regular 4-hour Leftist Mafia streams. And then the classic membership, my YouTube membership emojis, the Pigpen Matt and the Matt thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Wanda.
Okay, now we're back up to where we should be.
Right, yep. Balthazar, I'm kicking myself. I had tickets to Adam Conover tonight and totally missed it because I put it in the wrong month on my calendar.
Oh, that sucks.
That sucks.
Yeah.
What month did you think it was? February, I guess? Because it's the next month. I hope you didn't put it 8 months down.
That would suck so bad. Damn.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what month you put it in. The point is you missed it, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. This one's for you.
Trent with a super chat. Matt Binder's shadow banned. I was by the View.
This one is from me, from Mariano Rivera, $5. Thank you so much. Important to note that Ana Navarro is proud of her father, who was a Contra supporter of the far-right CIA-trained death squads in Nicaragua. I actually had not heard that about her, but it honestly does not surprise me at all.
No, I had heard about this. Yes, it's pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how it's like you learn something that's supposed to be shocking, but when you know the person, it's like the least surprising thing ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah. Okay. $4.99 from Bay Photo for me. Thank you so much. I saw a 2024 prediction that Gen Z will be blamed for the outcome of the election, and I can't help but feel like Dems are setting up to do just that. I think that is probably going to be the case. It'll be a combination of Gen Z, the left, progressives. But there's I can't recommend this video enough. So
you're about to see new levels of democratic Islamophobia and racism than you ever could have imagined. Yes. If that happens, put Gen Z aside, honestly. You're about to see a full-blown Dems get their full-on freak on when it comes to what they really think about Muslims and Arabs.
Yeah.
You're already seeing it. You're already seeing it, really. You should hear some of the things that people are saying.
It's fucking wild. Yeah. So watch the Some More News video on why we should have a primary, because he goes through different primary processes and shows how there's this like correlation between whenever Democrats try to shove somebody down our throats that we don't like, they lose elections. And it's not like this is a surprising thing, but the way that he like goes through how bad it is and why we're kind of in that same boat again is really fascinating. So I would highly encourage that. Check that video out. This one is from Abel Soul, $2. Too many YouTube ads in the middle of stream. So when I select the ad option, I always go for conservative, so it shows the least amount of ads. I'm wondering if it would be better to just like, I don't know if you can, like, can you set it for like every hour or something? Because I don't know if that would be more.
Wait, what option are you picking?
I choose the conservative option, so it shows less.
Oh,
ads.
you're misreading it. It's not how many ads you want to show. It's which political.
Oh my god. I was you had me going for a second. I'm like, come on.
That's why my audience keeps seeing PragerU ads. Oh, I clicked the conservative option. Oh man.
Yeah, YouTube's system is automated, so sometimes like, and I don't like for streams, I usually never go back and check. Sometimes you'll see like no ads. Most of the time you'll see like 5 ads in the first hour and then like no ads in the back half when they should be spacing it, but they try to like, I'm assuming opt for the most eyeballs. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'll look at the settings and see what would be preferable. I try my best, but during streams I don't have any control of it, so I'll look and see if there's any way I can tweak it so that way we do like one every hour.
Lies. There's a little button at the top of the YouTube studio when you're doing a live stream that has a money sign with a plus. And when you click, it literally is called the insert ad button. And when you press that button, it puts an ad in your stream. I see Mike clicking that button nonstop throughout the entire show. Just nonstop, just constantly clicking that button. He's doing it. He's putting those ads in the stream for you. Lying Mike.
Well, to be fair, there is like, you can insert ads, I believe, at specific portions of a stream like you can with videos. The problem is, like, I don't know when would be appropriate for that, but with the automated system, it's supposed to like try to determine the best time. So if there's like maybe like a little bit of dead space, they'll play one. I don't know how it works. I'm not sure, but I'll look into it. If not, then you'll have to deal with the ads, unfortunately, but I'm going to try to make sure that they're not too annoying because I hate ads too. Okay. I'm not sure. I think this is for you, actually. Yeah, this is you.
It is. Yep. Wanda says, I get the anger about Gaza, but if Gen Z Y don't vote, we boomers will. You will get our results on all issues instead. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think I think this is listen, I'm not advocating for it. I advocate for voting strategically. But I also think in terms of you're advocating for that, you can't do what a lot of Democrats do by default, and that's belittle the person who they're trying to win over. It makes zero sense. The whole like, oh, you want Trump to win. Oh, so you support the oh, so no, you can't do that. Just say, oh, I'm voting. This is how I'm voting, and this is why, and this is just how I view voting. And you discuss it that way. I think the whole incessant like hassling someone and attacking someone is the most like counterproductive thing you can do when you're trying to win them over. I mean, it's literally the strategy you see from Israel when trying to like push their propaganda. It's like the most, oh, you support Hamas then? You a terrorist? It's like
they're literally making that case against South Africa. Like, oh, they support Hamas. Like, what the fuck?
Calling everyone who disagrees with you an anti-Semite isn't going to win them over. I'll tell you that much. I mean,
yeah.
In Israel's case, their actions are it doesn't matter. But in terms of voting strategically, don't pull an Israel. Try to win people over by just explaining how you're voting and why you vote that way and why you do that. And hopefully it'll make sense to them and they'll vote accordingly. But you really can't do the whole thing that you see Dems, like the Democratic base, do online, where it's just like attack and nag and belittle. It's so counterproductive.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that that's what Wanda is doing. To be clear.
Oh no,
I
no, no,
think
no,
that,
no. I'm
yeah.
I'm
Just to
just
make
you know
sure.
I'm just saying in terms of like her point is valid. Obviously, that's what
Yeah,
happens when young people
just
don't vote.
liberals
The
in
older
general are
generations
doing that
vote.
so much. Like they're doing the scolding, the vote shaming, and it just if it was going to work, don't you think it would have worked in like 2016 or 2000? Like it's liberals have to learn to not do that.
I mean, the progressives who they were so angry with, they went out and voted for Hillary despite
Yeah.
what what was going on. Like
Yeah.
progressives were literally called misogynists and who knows what more with the Bernie bro thing and everything.
Yeah.
And the vast majority of progressives still went out and voted for Hillary. Like
More than Hillary supporters in 2008 voted for Obama, by the way.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, young people and progressives, they get it.
Yeah.
The issue isn't going to be that the vast majority of progressives and young people aren't going to vote for Joe Biden. The issue is that a particular subset of those groups and Arabs and Muslims in certain areas where their votes really matter more than they do in other areas will not vote for Biden. And that will swing the election. It's not the vast majority. It's particular types of voters in particular important swing states.
Right.
And is enough of them, could be a very little amount of them overall, but enough of them in that particular state to swing it against Biden. That's the possibility. Not that Biden is going to lose all young people or whatever. That's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I think this one is for you.
Tokyo Hans with a super chat. One more piece of good news. Guatemala election, leftist wins. Oh, I have to look. I have to update myself on what's going on with. I've not been paying attention, unfortunately.
Yeah, I haven't either. Celeste with $1.99.
Been a busy week. Yeah.
Been traveling. Yeah. Congrats to Succession and Kieran Culkin Emmy win. Yeah, I heard about that. I loved Succession, and I think that Kieran's character was funny in that. Creepy, but funny. This one is from JCast, $5. Thank you, JCast. Just a reminder to Mike that you don't have to be into sports to get athlete's foot. Be careful out there. Duly noted. Lizzie Bennett with $10. Megan Thee Stallion, and thank you, by the way, Lizzie. Megan Thee Stallion at the Anime Awards. I gotta check it out. Did y'all know that she, along with MMA fighter Mirko Filipovic, served as inspiration for the character Mirko on My Hero Academia? Oh, well, I didn't know that. Okay. I didn't get too much into My Hero Academia. I only watched like the first 3 seasons. Eventually I'll have to check it out. But yeah, I'm curious to see. First of all, I didn't even know that there was an Anime Awards, let alone that Megan Thee Stallion was hosting it. So yeah, that's awesome. Let's see here. We have one from Tokyo Hans, 500 yen. Thank you. You say Dago would love pumpkin spice. What's your opinion on Uggs? Love them. Okay, so I think that okay, this one is going to be for you or David?
It's for me. Oh, wait, you missed one.
Oh, did I?
AOD fan. AOD fan.
Oh, let me go back up.
You see it?
Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. There we go.
AOD fan, member for 6 months. Thank you so much, AOD fan. If Bender, it's Bender, but I'll take it. You're a member of the YouTube. You're paying me. You can call me whatever you'd like. If Bender hosted it, it would be days reading all the super chats. Right? It would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Who cares about awards when you hear my super chats? Pluvius with a $10 super chat. Oh my god, I'm losing my voice. There are 2 kinds of people who use Fur Baby. People who are overly attached to their pets and people who know, whether by choice or circumstance, that nobody's breeding with this shit. I would have probably phrased it in a slightly nicer way, but yeah, I think that's spot on. That about the 2 types who use fur babies. Yes.
Let me see where we're at. Okay, I think this one is the next one.
Or there's a third that sort of is a spin-off of the second, a little bit, or in a way it is. Empty nesters. older people whose kids
true
are in their teens and college
Mhm.
or in their 20s, 30s, have families of their own, and they're no longer living in the house. You get a lot of empty nesters who get pets and start to treat them like children.
Yeah.
I mean, you even get some of them who go out and actually like adopt literal monkeys to have as close to a human baby as possible.
That's too much. Okay, this one is for you from Tokyo Hans, I believe.
Is it from me?
Or did I skip one?
You skipped one, yeah. Soul Life.
Oh, I thought that was for. Is this one yours?
Yeah, Soul Life says someone
I'm
tell
sorry.
I missed this earlier. Someone tell Rebecca to look at her chat. Yeah, after she'd already left, I noticed there was a few people that gave me a heads up or tried to give me a heads up because I did not get the heads up during the show where the heads up is what you would call a heads up. But I noticed a few people trying to let me know that there was a troll in Rebecca's chat.
It happens.
All right. I can go back to that other. Tokyo
There
Hans,
we go.
2,000 yen, which I'm assuming must be 10,000 USD. Gen Z merely adopted the internet. Millennials were born in it. We didn't see the light until we were already adults. By then, it was nothing to us but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to us. Thank you, Tokyo Hans. That was very beautiful. Poetry to my ears.
Yeah, poetic, right? So all of these are going to be yours except one more for me. Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, all right. Well, just a few more. I'll go through these. Let's do this. You let me know when yours comes up. I'll just double check. Andrew S, member for 6 months. Thank you, Andrew. Millennials born in the age of the internet can hum the dial tone download screen. That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew S, member for 6 months. Same Andrew. There we go. I cannot be a bird person. Too much maintenance for me. They are a lot of maintenance.
They're high maintenance.
I did have birds when I was a kid. Yes, they are very messy too. And
yeah,
there's obviously no like real controlling them. Like they
bird seed all over the floor and shit. Yeah.
They do what they do.
Yep.
Azor is this for me?
That is Rebecca, I believe. Okay, let me.
Okay.
Sorry, got a couple of
You
Rebecca.
lied to me.
David.
You lied.
Okay, this one is my last one here from Balthazar, $4.99. Thank you, Balthazar. You'd think a plant store would have used the name Plant Paradise.
That's pretty genius.
That's actually really, really good. Yeah. Okay.
Someone should absolutely get on that.
Okay, I believe the remainder are for you and not for David and Rebecca. So that's the one
You
thing
want to
I'll
stick
look out
around?
for, though. Yeah, I'll stick around. Sure.
Cool. I'll breeze right through them.
All righty.
Hold on. I think you skipped one.
Did I?
Omega.
How do I keep skipping these?
Because these are.
Oh, I thought this was
mentioning
for,
other
Rebecca.
people. Yeah.
Okay.
Omega with the super chat. Rebecca taking us on a journey and made me feel old. Yes. I'm not sure I don't remember what you were talking about, but for a second, out of the corner of my eye, I thought you were drinking a big, tall glass of milk. If I did a double take, I was like, wait, what?
That's so random, but I love it. Okay, I think we were at. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we were at here, right?
Yeah, Logan Hill with a membership super chat. Member for 6 months. Had a ferret, must have been a Beastmaster fan. It was on 4 times a week from 1989 to 1993 HBO. No, I just thought they were cool, and they were like they're sort of known for being like the punk pet. A lot of punks have them. I just think they're cool too. It must be something about them. Their mustiness must speak to the punks.
I really like ferrets. I think they're cute. I would never want to own one though. Okay, next one.
They're very smart, actually. People don't realize how cat-like they are. They're not rodents. They don't act like hamsters or gerbils or guinea pigs. They do pay attention to you. They do play with you like a cat or a dog plays with you.
Yeah, no, they're super smart.
And they're potty trained. They go in the corner of their cage, no matter where they are. Like if my ferret was out of the cage and had to go to the bathroom, he would run up his little ramp and go to the corner of his cage and go to the bathroom and then come
Oh,
back
that's
out.
really cute.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say cute when he's shitting, but like it's cool that he's
No, but it's
like,
cool that
he goes away so he's not like, in his
Right,
living
yeah.
space. That's smart.
No,
I'm getting
yeah,
tired,
I
so I'm
mean-
using the wrong adjectives.
No, it's
it's
all
cute.
good.
He's shitting in the corner. Wow, look at that.
All right. T-types. Check out hip-hop artist Sunrise Above. Late 90s old school flow with lyrics so unapologetic. I'm surprised he isn't censored off streaming platforms. I will have to check that out.
Oh, okay.
Sunrise Above. Let me just quickly type that in so I remember. All right. What's next? Let's see.
All right.
Miss Siren with a super chat. Birds are not easy. They can be like 2-year-old kids and need attention. 2-sided tape keeps the cat away, along with Big Beak's claws. Yeah. I don't want to test it though.
Yeah, and
my
so
cat and my dog are
loud.
still trying to get along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Cass with a $5 super chat. Did you find any dead bodies at the Riverwalk in San Antonio? It's been weirdly common here in San Antonio the last couple of years. No, I did not. I did not know that. And I gotta say, I went to Austin. I thought it was nice. I didn't. You hear that Austin's like a big city, so you assume like, oh, it's a big city, but it's really not set up like a big city. It's very much still under development. Like someone said, it's like maybe like Williamsburg, Brooklyn, like 20 years ago or something. And I guess that's sort of accurate. Like nothing's walkable. You got to drive everywhere. It didn't feel like a city in the way I think of cities. But San Antonio, I really liked. I got to visit the Alamo in honor. Actually, I did have a short but emotional experience at the Alamo after decades since I was a child. Referring to the Alamo, thanks to Pee Wee Herman, one of my favorites, and the whole Pee Wee's Big Adventure, the Alamo is a huge part of that movie. In fact, when Paul Rubens died, they thanked Paul Rubens for making the Alamo culturally relevant to a new generation of people because of that movie. So that meant a lot to me to visit the Alamo. But the Riverwalk I thought it was beautiful. I really enjoyed San Antonio because that whole area, to me, that was like a city, a beautiful city, bustling with people and lights and cool looking stuff. I liked it. But I did not know about all the dead bodies. But you know what? we got people swimming with the fishes in the Hudson. So I mean, it's nothing new here in New York City.
Yeah, that's weird. Another one for you here.
Danny Man with a super chat. Will Gen Alpha be the new Gen X? Is that the kids after Gen X?
Yeah,
Is that
after
what
Gen Z.
Is that what my
Your kid
kids
is Gen
are? Hold
Alpha,
on.
yeah.
Are they?
Yep. There might be a new name by.
No, they
by
are.
the
Gen
time-
Alpha is demographic born in the early 2010s to the 2020s. Yeah, my kids were born in the mid to late 2010s. They are Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're going to be even more online than Gen X. I mean, these are kids who, from the womb, they were using. My kids started swiping on tablets when they were months old, not even years, months old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how my nieces and nephews are too.
Logan Hill with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. How do we get the message out to people to show up for down ballot if they can in good faith vote for Biden? How much does strong Dem Congress hamper a possible Trump presidency? Well, I mean, obviously they can't pass bills if there's a Dem Congress. I mean, Trump obviously can do other harm, executive orders. He will be the commander in chief in the same way, in terms of Israel, Palestine. Like I said, I don't think there's much daylight between how the two would handle the situation right now, but I do think there's a little bit of a difference at the very least in how they would handle whatever comes after. No, I think you don't even make that argument. I think you just make the argument that you have to vote strategically, and whatever that means to you, whether that means voting down ballot or whether that means holding your nose and voting for the Democratic candidate, that's how you explain it. Voting is strategic. And I explained this too. I said this on my stream too, and I think this is a good way to. This is another good way. Joe Biden losing the election is not a way to make him pay, because the sad fact is for what's happening to the Palestinians. Because the sad fact is, and this works for every politician. A politician losing an election really doesn't matter to them on a personal level for the most part. They will probably make more money not being elected. They will just go back to their big home and live Joe Biden will be retired. He'll live a wonderful life, waking up whenever he wants, spending time with his wife, going to the fishing hole, whatever the fuck he does in Delaware. It's not a punishment for him to lose. It's just not. There's other ways to make Joe Biden pay for what he's letting happen to the people in Gaza. They do care about their legacy. They do care about the ability to go out in public and like have a nice dinner with their family and not have people shout at them. Like, this is the stuff that matters to them.
Yeah.
Him losing the election, he don't give a shit. You're not punishing him by making him lose an election. He doesn't give a shit. He's, like I said, he's gonna make more money. He's gonna have less stress. He'll probably live longer too, not being the president. I mean, honestly. So, strategic voting means voting for who will cause the less harm to the most marginalized and vulnerable in this country. And so, that's how I look at it. There you go.
All right, this one is actually from me. I got another. So this is from Soren, $5. My dog's name is Willoughby, and I call him Weasel Beat. Not cringe, right? I think it's an appropriate level of cringe, which is good. I think it's fine. This one's for you.
For Resto with a super chat. I just read an article that police departments in the Bay Area, Cali, near San Francisco, are so understaffed that one department is offering $75,000 signing bonuses. Well, fuck. Take that sign up, take the signing bonus, stay on for as long as it takes for them to give you the signing bonus. And then just ACAB, resign, and peace out. And take your $75K signing bonus, whatever you made while you were there. And then literally, while you're working as on the police department, just look the other way for any sort of small bore, like broken windows crime. Just that's simple.
And the next one for you.
Oh, Fart Gas with a super chat. Poopy fart. If every super chat was like that, I would make the money that I make, and also we'd get out of here in a few minutes. These are great super chats.
And another one for you.
Carrie Shaw with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Carrie. Birds live a long time. Yeah, I agree. They do.
Yeah. Okay, this one is for me. Evan Christensen with $4.99. Thank you, Evan. The Department of Labor, FTC, and judges are so critical for workers and minority communities now. And if we want a chance to fix this in the future. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's another argument in favor of like strategic voting, right? Because the president is not just the president. He also appoints people, and who are in those positions like the NLRB. It really makes a huge difference. So yeah, I'm glad that you pointed that out. So we both got this one. This is from Poopy from Fart Gas again.
Hold on, let's read it together. Wait, let's read it together. We start with the username, and then we read the super chat. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, we should say this is from Fart Gas. Poopy butt.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. This is from Fart Gas. We're not doing it.
Poopy butt.
Poopy butt. I thought we would be in unison. I thought it would be beautiful harmonies.
I mean, what do you want? What do you want from me?
What do you
I don't know
want
how to
from me?
perform poopy butt better than this thing. And that's it.
That's it. We're done.
That's it.
It only took an hour.
We're getting out of here early again.
Not even a 3-hour stream.
Yeah.
Quick, someone send me more money. Quick.
No.
Oh wait, I got a few Twitch. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, I'll log on Twitch too really quick and
over on Twitch we got let's see. Stan Roulette, subscribe with Prime. Thank you so much, Stan. Tiny Panda 3, resubscribe with Prime, subscriber for 8 months. Thank you so much, Tiny Panda 3. Valinova cheered 1,000 bits. Can you guys get Robert Scavarla on to talk about the right wing getting into UFOs? What? Yes, that sounds good.
That does sound interesting, yeah.
Robert Scavarla. Let me write that down too. That actually sounds like a doomed episode, honestly. Hold on. All right, and then Looney Tunes 9000 subscribe for 1 month at tier 1. Thank you so much. As always, folks, you could become a member at youtube.com/MattBinder. You can sign up over at Twitch, twitch.tv/MattBinder. If you got a Twitch Prime subscription to use, that comes free with your Amazon Prime subscription. And of course, patreon.com/MattBinder to sign up to financially compensate me as a monthly subscription every month so I can keep creating wonderful content and hopefully create even more content real soon. I just got 2 more super chats.
Yeah, I see that.
Begging works. T-Types the super chat at NT1F at and oh my god, I'm having a mental block. That's the why can't I remember what that's called? Can you help me out? I'm having it's late.
I have no
It's late.
idea.
It's the hammer and
the communist.
Yes, thank you. I'm having a real mental block right now. It's late. It's almost midnight. Infiltrate
I was
the
looking
police.
at the NT1. I'm like, what is NT1F? What?
Oh, Antifa.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Saying it out loud helped.
Oh my god! Hammer and sickle. Thank you, folks. Antifa and hammer and sickle infiltrate the police and spend those bonuses on redacted. Yes, that was a really good super chat, and I just fucked it all up. I'm sorry, T-Types.
I wasn't very helpful as well. It's late, so my brain is mush now. Last one.
Jennifer McKinnon with a $10 Canadian. Thank you so much. I thought I watched you guys for the politics, but tonight I realized it's for the pet stories. Lance half falling out of his chair about the tiny dog dying in the recliner was a sight to behold. I mean, that's crazy. Even I was like, what? Are you serious?
It's just so absurd.
I mean, it honestly, it seems like a setup on an episode of Seinfeld, doesn't it? Like, it seems like the dog died in the recliner. Like, and George Costanza did it. It was his boss's dog. He's going to get fired from his job. Jerry, the dog died in the recliner. I mean, that's what it feels like. It feels like a sitcom.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's just, insane. Okay, so this one is for me, Logan Hill, $2. Okay, last one, sleep well. Thank you so much, Logan. And we have another one for Matt Binder.
Goblin friend with a super chat. Hey, Binder, my significant other is getting really into Squatch pods and UFOology, and I showed him Brett Cooper and Benny Boy, and he suggested they are extraterrestrials. Thoughts? I mean, they look so alike. It's insane.
It's like they were made in a lab from the same DNA.
Right.
Yeah, it's scary. Okay, so that is it. I have my Twitch set to raid Rayvana if you want to raid Rayvana as well.
Oh, Rayvana's on right now. That's perfect, actually. Hold on, let's raid.
Yeah, we love Rayvana.
Hold on. 1 second. My Twitch is going slow. 1 second. My Ravana's not showing up for me, but she is on, obviously. All right, here she is.
Mhm.
All right, ready?
Yes.
All right, folks. Here we go. We're going to raid Ravana. It's filling up. It's filling up. Are you ready to start raid or whatever?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3. Boom. We're raiding Ravana.
All right, folks. We will see you next week. Take care.
Peace.